and correct me if I'm wrong here, Ling, you've seen them too. This thing about bumping players off the ball and, and all that sort of stuff, you know what, that is as cheap as you'll probably get. You could go and put your hand in a hat and ping out something like that that's going to be more effective than using up energy. Use your energy when it's required. In other words, when that ball comes at you and your number's up, you've got to go and hit that ball 100 mile an hour. Forget all the stuff, I'm going to say BS, off the ball. Yep. That is, and I've just noticed in the last few weeks, maybe Michael in the room has said, you've got to show that you're tough. And no, show your toughness when you are under the most pressure.
No late change ahead of the Good Friday Super Clash. Mick Moldhouse, Cameron Ling, alongside myself, Corbin Middlemass and Kelly Underwood to call the footy. Down on the boundary, Tim Hodges, where we can return to Hodgie, who's now inside the North Melbourne camp. Tim.
Corbin down here on the boundary with North Melbourne assistant coach Xavier Clark. Xavier, this is it's a big day for so many reasons other than footy with the kids and the Good Friday appeal.
Yeah, 100%. And footy does a wonderful thing. It brings community together, and when there's situations where we can help other people. It's just a great opportunity for us to do it because we're really privileged in our roles that we do and these boys and what they do, and to be able to be involved in this game in particular. Being a father of two young girls who are really lucky that they're really healthy. I can only imagine some of the tough things that families go through. So if we can bring a little bit of joy today for those families, it's a great thing.
It's your footy club's biggest home game of the year. Do you get a sense of that this is a big day, a big game, a big event, and it's going to be a big crowd? Do you sense that with the boys, that they sort of appreciate that?
Yeah, we do. And then again, we're very fortunate, and we don't get the many big blockbusters, and that's the reality of the footy club at the moment. But to be able to put on this, get a full crowd, home game, the players do feel that, and hopefully we can put on a show.
I hate to bring it up, the Good Friday record for the footy club isn't good. It's 1-7.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you do mention that this week or do you stress the importance of, bringing your A game to this day?
Yeah, we have, and obviously Clarko mentioned it in his presser yesterday around, we've turned up for the appeal, but we haven't turned up for the game. So, look, we think our boys have matured a lot over the last 2 years, 3 years in particular. We've had a pretty good start to the year. The hiccup against West Coast, but they've probably been going to be better than what people think. But I think our boys are a bit more mature now. I think we understand where we're at. Our DNA is starting to stack up in terms of the contest. They're really good in the contest. So I feel if we can match them in that space, I reckon it'll go a long way to helping us play the game on our terms.
I was going to say, you are 2-1, you're 6 on the ladder. Do you see the confidence building with each win for this young group?
Yeah, 100%. We keep forgetting that, She's only in his third year, and O'Sullivan, in his fourth year, O'Sullivan in his second year, McKercher third year. They're still young kids. Charlie Comden only played his 50th game, round 2, so although he's been around a little bit longer, but we're a group that's starting to mature, and I think that's a really good thing.
So are you confident? I know a lot of people thought you'd go over to Perth and get the win against the West Coast. Are you confident today, after getting the result you needed last week against the Bombers, that you do turn up and you tick this off the box today?
I think it's pretty clear when we play our best footy. Even back into last year against Richmond and the Crows, when we played really well in the contest and played to our strengths in that part of the game, we got the game on our terms and the offence started from there. So if we can, like I said, match them in that part of the game, I think, to answer your question, I think we're a little bit more clear on what our DNA is as a football club, and that's what we've got to crack in.
I imagine you'd be a little bit more confident if you had Tristan Cherry there. He leaves he's an enormous figure, but he leaves an enormous hole on the whiteboard, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's one of the premier ruckmen in the competition, and what he'd be able to do for us. And even that part of the game I'm talking about around the contest, he really becomes an extra midfielder for us when the ball hits the ground. So, yeah, he does leave a hole. And, you like to say one soldier in, one soldier out, but he's a big soldier to replace. And, we're fortunate that Coleman Jones has been around football for a long time now, has a little bit of injury interruption and hasn't really had that opportunity to be the number one ruck. So we have great confidence in him standing up today and being able to fill that hole.
Is he nervous? Could you tell with Callum that, this is a big moment for him and his career to have these 3 weeks run at it?
Yeah, of course he'll be a little bit nervous. That's natural. But he's looking for the opportunity. He knows that. There's a really important part. One for his career, like you said, but it's really important. 3 weeks for our footy club, really. Brisbane next week and then into Richmond. So, both on both fronts, important for him, important for the footy club.
And finally, George Wardlaw back second week. Can you just sense that he'll get better than last week, that he was a bit rusty, but he'll be even better today?
Yeah, and there's no doubt about that. We love Georgie. We love the way he goes about it, and we can keep him out on the park. I think the 5 on the bench allows us to probably bring a player back in and just manage them through the game with the time. It's like you can get through playing someone at 50 or 60%, and we did that last week with him. So his time will go up, and hopefully, naturally, his impact on the game will as well.
Thanks so much for your time so close to the bounce.
No, thank you. Cheers.
There you go, Corbin. Xavier Clark from the Roos.
Thanks, Hodgie. Appreciate that. So there you have it inside the North Melbourne camp. And that, as we heard there, is going to be a fascinating afternoon for the North Melbourne Football Club. The banner crew's ready to go. They've got the joint banner set up on the broadcast wing. The Roos are just making their way out through the pyrotechnics at the moment. They're going to meet Carlton on the centre wing in a few moments' time. Is it a test of North's legitimacy today? It feels like so much of it has been framed through Carlton for obvious reasons, but how much are we putting on the Roos to prove that they can hang with not the good teams in the competition, but at least the teams in the next rung on the ladder from where they've been in recent seasons?
Yeah, it's huge for North Melbourne, and you're right. We have focused on Carlton. They had the horror week last week, but it's big for the Kangaroos because this is also their game, their day, and they've been part of it and have not been good. Not been good at all.
And not just by the way that they haven't been winning these games. Their average losing margin's almost 10 goals.
Yeah.
Haven't been close.
And they want to own this day. And to their credit, they do a mountain of work around the day and with the Royal Children's Hospital. So that's fantastic. That's why they've continued to be able to play in this day. But then it also becomes a point in time where they need to play great footy on this day. And today's one where, okay, they're not going to knock off the Brisbane Lions anytime soon, North Melbourne. Let's just get that fact out there. But they should be beating and comfortably beating those around them, the Carltons of the world, if they want to be taking steps forward in this season.
It feels like we're at a critical juncture for both these teams today. So if North Melbourne wins, it finally owns this day in its 9th edition of the Good Friday Super Clash, and it will move to 3 wins and 1 loss for the season. So that sets them up for the first half, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And you know that 10th is finals. I know you both hate it, but if you finish 10th, you're going to play in a final. So, and for the Blues, the same thing. I mean, 2-2 from where they are, or 1 and 3. So
1 and 3.
Yeah. The doom and gloom around this week in this season can be wiped with a win for Carlton.
Yep.
But for North, they can't let games like this slip because they are going to come up against the best teams and they are going to lose against the very, very best team. I'm talking the top tier. They need to win these games. They need to win all of these types of games throughout the season. They probably left one on the table with West Coast.
Absolutely. 30 points up.
Yeah. So that's another one they should have done. But, yeah, if we're looking for steps forward for the Kangaroos, they win these games and then they might pinch one against a team that might be 6th on the ladder. And then we know that they're getting somewhere to launch. 27, 28, 29, 30 are probably the years they're eyeing off to really have a crack at it. It's not this year, but they need to make the gains this year.
What certainly doesn't help them is the absence of Tristan Xerri, who's their only player that featured in State of Origin back in February. 3-match ban. The tribunal described his act last week as disgraceful behaviour and quite shocking after he wiped his nose blood on the cheek of Andy McGrath. We know the episode. Now the Roos have got to deal with the consequences. How do they cover him? There's no recognised ruckman coming in, so Coleman Jones is probably going to get the start. What do they lose in not having Tristan Xerri?
Well, one is he's a very, very good ruckman. He's in the top echelon as far as ruck work goes. He's tough. He takes a marker in the ground. He's hard to move. Centre bounces are okay, but around the ground he's so hard to move on boundary throw-ins. So that's gone. So straight away, what you've been practising with over 12 months or more will change dramatically. So you are now probably going to have to work on the opposition ruckman because they're going to Carlton are out ruckman, no doubt about that. So it does change, and that's why I'm reasonably confident that Carlton can do pretty well because I just can't see how North Melbourne can get the advantage through centre or stoppages.
I'm with you, Mick. I feel like it's a big prove-it day for North Melbourne. If they want to prove that they're ready to hang with the teams in the mid-table, and Alistair Clarkson, by his own admission, said in the pre-season, hey, it's a top 10 now. That's the aim. How do we nab a spot in the top 10? Hamish McLaughlin is addressing the crowd. The two teams have gathered and are in a guard of honour in front of the banner, which reads, "A day for the kids. Good Friday is here. They are the heroes. Give them a big cheer." Here is Hamish McLaughlin.
Opportunity to ring the bell because as a 3-year-old, he has now been cancer-free for a full year. What about a massive round of applause for a young 3-year-old who's joined by his mother Maddie and his father Matty, his older brother and idol Finn. The bell is yours, Augie.
Young Augie rings the bell.
It's a good sound. The sound of that bell is a tribute to Augie's bravery and a symbol of hope for every child currently fighting their battle. We're here for a great contest on the field, but the real heroes are the patients, the families and the incredible staff at the Royal Children's who walk this path every single day. To keep this celebration going, please welcome our Guard of Honour, the brave patients and families of the Royal Children's Hospital. Let's hear it for these wonderful people.
You have to be made of stone not to get emotional in these moments, and it happens every year on Good Friday, and the Good Friday Appeal, which is hand in hand in Victoria with this day, raising vital funds for the Royal Children's Hospital and for so many young kids whose lives have barely even begun yet and have had to endure so much heartache and so much adversity that most of us in our lives have really never had to try and combat, and your heart breaks for them, and yet to be able to have this day where the footy teams absolutely know their place in it. There are tickets that the portion of the ticket sales go to raising money for the Royal Children's Hospital, and the two teams high-fiving all the patients as well as their family members as they come by, and it's the players who are in the Guard of Honour, and it's the patients who are bursting through the banner. And the two teams wearing blue and white, and yet the banner's purple in the colours of the Royal Children's Hospital. What a day it is on the calendar, and what a job that North Melbourne and Carlton now, as their opponents do every year, to try and make sure that the cause is front and centre, the footy is secondary, and hopefully a day for these young kids that they'll never forget.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we've all got, all those that have had kids, got kids, you just know how good that hospital can be, has been, and continue to will be. So, I mean, the thing is, as you said, Corby, there are certain games that are games of footy, and there's others that are for the occasion. And I think all those in Victoria, and for every other state, I know they have their certain days. Kids are kids, no matter where they are in the world.
95 years the Good Friday Appeal's been going, so you can get involved too as well in trying to raise some vital funds if you are able for the Good Friday Appeal. So that will be ongoing. I've got the number here for that you can ring to get involved as well. The Good Friday Super Clash, I mentioned $5 for every ticket goes towards raising vital funds for the Royal Children's Hospital. And we'll be able to give that a plug continuously throughout the day if you are in a position and able to donate. This is ABC Sports coverage of Good Friday footy. So for the Good Friday Appeal, there are a number of ambassadors each year. So Parker and Paisley, who did the rounds during the week, I saw them on AFL 360, as well as various other shows. So they'll be out there in their North Melbourne jumpers, and we'll see them at the toss coming up shortly. Plus, as well, also young Mayo, who's a 12-year-old who's going to be with the Carlton camp. I saw an interview that she gave with Mitch McGovern, where she was asked to give Mitch some advice, and at 12 years of age she said, do great and don't crack under pressure, which was great advice. The Good Friday Appeal, 1300 277 325, so that basically spells out 1300 appeal if you're able to get involved there. So 1300 appeal is the number if you're able to donate. This is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. Corbin Middlemass, Kelly Underwood, Tim Hodges on the boundary. Back to Hodgie in just a moment. And as the two teams out there conducting their preliminary warm-up, Mick Malthouse and Cameron Ling with their preview of proceedings. There's no late change at selection last night. Zach Banch came in for his 5th game, so he plays for the first time in the young season. Jack Darling's back. He was dropped last week. You'd expect he'll give Callum Coleman-Jones a chop-out in the ruck on occasions. And the Blues have strung the changes. So Dean and Williams are both injured, but Chesser and O'Keefe have been omitted. In comes Nick Newman. It is Newman's first game in over 570 days. 573 days since he last played. Had the ACL tear. He then had a VFL suspension to serve. He comes back in here. Jordan Boyd returns for his first run of the season. Also in Adam Chera for his first run, coming off a hamstring in the pre-season. And Wade Dirksen makes his debut today, who is... talk about he's a great story of adversity too, as a guy he's been everywhere, man, to be here and make his debut today.
I love the fact they gave him a call. He got in the car and he did the 4-day drive from Darwin to get here as soon as he could. But if you ask yourself, if you got a phone call to say your dream could come true, would you jump in the car and drive 4 days straight? I think most people would. But he started at Nightcliff. He played Essendon in the VFL, back to Nightcliff. Then he went to the Waffle, played for Peel for a bit. GWS for 3.5 seasons with the Giants when he was added via the mid-season draft. Couldn't get a game there. Back to the NTFL. And now picked up by Carlton. He'll make his debut today at the age of 24. And Nick Newman, as you said, first game since in 573 days. It just highlights how quickly football changes. The last game Nick Newman played was in a final. So the Blues were playing finals and he was in career best form as that lockdown defender. He was playing some brilliant football and he comes back in and the team's under the pump and just had the one win for the season.
It's a great story. So Darwin, Melbourne, Darwin, Perth, Sydney, Darwin, Carlton to now be here and making his debut today at 24 years of age. His first AFL game for Wade Dirksen.
It's a lot of years for a lot of clubs and he's only 24.
Okay, he's just come off because the NTFL season obviously runs during our summertime.
So he's fit.
Kicked a bag there. So he ended up with 26 goals in 8 games playing for Nightcliff. So he's basically come straight off a season last year at VFL level playing for the Giants, plays up in the NT, and then he's in here to make his AFL debut in round 4.
I don't want to, this is not to put a damper on any of that taking place, but it's what we spoke about earlier. We just don't see the end of lists as good as perhaps they could have been and should be. Maybe we haven't got the talent out there coming through, but what it has done, it's opened up the Tom Stewart type things where someone identifies them and they get an opportunity when they're mature.
Yes.
So, and some of them come on and go very well. Others don't make it. They just have a shuffle around and it doesn't quite work out for them. But there's more and more now that are either mid-year or early or late picks that are starting to have some sort of impact on AFL footy.
Yeah, and clubs looking for those different avenues to find those players. And you might have to cycle through a few who get an opportunity, which is fantastic, but ultimately don't work out in the long run to find those gems that are there. And, I mean, Stewart's the example you use, and it's a great one. What is 5-time All-Australian or whatever he is?
One of the best back-line players of the last 20 years.
Yeah, so it's a great that those opportunities still exist. It's fantastic. We know generally that the first round, certainly the first 2 rounds of the draft, it was where most of the long careers come from, but you can find them in all different places, which is outstanding. I was only talking the other day with some Geelong people who Mark Blitzarves for the Cats is on verge of playing 300 games, and that's just a completely different pathway. There's the Irish guys who've come here and play that different pathway. So it is wonderful that can happen. So well done to Wade Dirksen. No offence, I could be wrong. He's probably not going to be where the key to this game lies, but hopefully he has a really enjoyable first game. The key to it, if I look at North Melbourne, Corbs, is you guys were talking about Tristan Sherry and his absence, which is huge. He's one of the premier ruckmen in the competition. But if North Melbourne are serious, and they are the team that we think is going to be heading up the ladder in the next couple of years, that midfield still needs to get the job done despite him not being there.
Yep.
So Luke Davies-Uniacke needs to stand up in a big way. He's now got 133 games under his belt. That's plenty of time to become a real, genuine A-grade midfielder who can play at A-grade level even when your number one ruckman's not out there. George Wardlaw, tough and hard, bit younger, only his 41st game today, but he's at that point where he should be seeing the game pretty well. Harry Sheasel, 71st game today. That's enough games of football for you to be able to influence games despite your ruckman not being there against a really good Carlton midfield. I know they're not quite getting the results, but it's still filled with Cripps and Walsh and these types of
And
players.
Chera comes back today too.
Does Finn O'Sullivan get a job today? He blanketed Zach Merritt last week, kept him to 10.
Yeah,
He
wouldn't
be
be able to
silly
do
not
it.
wasted. If that's his go, use him.
He couldn't do it on Cripps though. He's not built like that. He's not.
No.
It's not that sort of job.
No.
It would have to be on a Walsh.
Probably on a Walsh, because Walsh covers the ground.
Sorry for just chuckling while you were talking before, Lingy, too. Cameron Dorr, the umpire, just handed the footy to young Parker, who's one of the two ambassadors there. Parker and Paisley, both outpatients at the Royal Children's Hospital, and handed him the ball to show it. And first thing Parker did, put it on the boot and kick it away. And Cameron Dorr, the umpire, is going chasing out after it to pick up the match, Sharon. And so the two youngsters out there decked out in their North Melbourne jumpers for the coin toss.
Can I just quickly say, if O'Sullivan does go to Walsh, the Hampton Footy League will love that, because that is Koroit versus Cobden.
And they're second cousins.
Oh, right,
They're
okay,
actually
even better.
That's even
Know that
close.
one?
Yeah. He's sure to go to him.
Yeah. Tim Hodges is on the boundary. Hodgie, what an occasion! I mean, you're up close and personal to it, obviously there in the front row of the stands. How was it from your vantage point?
Oh, it was a beautiful pre-match moment down here. It was just there weren't many dry eyes, to be perfectly honest. They do it so well, the Kangaroos. Good on them. They deserve to keep this day with what they put on. I've never seen so many people on the ground before a game as well. goodfridayappeal.com.au if you're able. Patrick Cripps won the toss. The Blues will kick to the Footscray end. That's the left of screen if you're at home watching on the telly, listening to us. Just on the crowd, North Melbourne hoping they'll hit 40, or they're confident they'll hit 45,000. They think if all the corporates turn up, they are a sneaky chance to hit 50,000. So I think Ed Sheeran was the last one to hit 50,000 here at the Docklands. The roof is closed. It was open this morning. There was a lot of rain about in Melbourne, so it could be slippery early. One of those days, Lingy, where you probably would like to wear long stops, but the ground is just so hard underneath it, it's almost impossible to do so. And just a word on Michael Voss, he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, but he was given a cap by a patient at the Children's Hospital visit on Tuesday. He told that patient he was going to wear it on match day, so true to his word, he's got it on down here on the bench.
So he starts on the bench. We're ready to go. The Good Friday Super Clash edition number 9, the Kangas and the Blues. Here's Kelly Underwood.
And Pitnet rise it high and wins it over Coleman Jones, but a free's been picked out. It's going to the Blues skipper Cripps. He drives it long, straight down the corridor, inside 50 for the first time. It's fisted down, loose ball in the goal square, tracking back and getting a boot to ball there was Kemp, but it was offline. So just a toe poke off the turf in the race for the ball after it fell behind the pack. Through for the first minor score, and the Roos now in possession.
Daniel marks the kick out, goes along the boundary line, trying to find Banch, spills the mark, but regathers, gives it to Davies Uniacke. Centering kick, back to centre half back, finds Comben. Hand pass off to McKercher, kicks out of defence into the middle of the ground. Oh, a nutmeg through the legs of Larkey, scooped up there by Parker. Hand pass out to Simpkin. Pulls the kick back inboard, and here's Zerha between wing and half forward. Looks inside 50. That's a good kick. And here's Coleman Jones, who marks it right half forward. He'll have a look from 40 out.
Some really nice ball used by the Kangaroos.
Very good.
Yeah, they opened up the middle initially, then just brought it a little wider, able to change the angle once or twice. And I liked seeing that from Coleman Jones to actually get forward on Pitnet and be an option up there, which means it either goes to him, great, he's got a shot at goal, or Larkin can get one-on-ones.
So on the set shot, big role for him today, leading the ruck. His kick is out to the left and through for a behind. You know what that proves? He's not John Coleman, he's Coleman Jones. Just a behind. So first
How long have you been studying that one for, Corby?
First score for the Kangas, one behind each. We're 2 minutes in. I don't think it's 100% original.
Florent goes short on the kick into Boyd, who goes long, and it's stolen here by the Roos. Dylan Stevens got it, pokes it in the direction of Curtis. Well played in front. Lockie Cowan takes the mark. It was an old-fashioned one-on-one. The kick wasn't great. It opens the door for Simpkin. He handballs it and gives it to Blamires, and then off to a teammate in McKercher, and now Parker's got it. 2 goals out. Can he hit a target inside 50? Well, he can, but it's the opposition. And Ollie Florent takes the mark. And we're going to start where we were 30 seconds ago. Florent's got a last line of defence.
He can't afford a kick to, and he picked the Carlton plate out.
Contest kick to the wing, spills down to Coleman Jones. Roos back with it, gives it to Davies Uniacke. Hand pass away to O'Sullivan. Short little left foot kick's good. Finds Powley, keeps it moving. Further inside 50 to Zerha. And he marks. Finn O'Sullivan, by the way, is not a left footer, but that was very neat.
That was beautiful.
Well, tell you what they have done so far, they've really chopped Carlton about.
With the kicking.
Yes, and it's not 15 metres, it's 25 to 35, 40 metres. So they've really dissected a Carlton defence loaded with numbers too.
19 disposals to 4. As Zerha skips in for the first of the day, the drop punt is wild. Now to the right, it's behind. So 2 behinds plays 1 behind. That's our first lead change. Kangas on top. We're 3 minutes in. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Laid back too far, Lingy, didn't he?
Yeah.
This time it was Boyd on the kick-in duties, and he kept running, got it back. Another missed kick here. Puts them under the pump. It was Cowan's kick on the outer wing. And they pile in from all angles. It'll be a ball up.
That might do for Cowan. I don't think he needs to kick the ball out of defensive 50 anymore. That's 2 stinkers.
A little rattled, these Blues defenders in the opening minutes here. Walsh eventually says, give it to me. Hard up against the boundary line. City side. He goes along down the line. Target there was Kemp, but it's off hands. It'll be a Lasso free kick, and it's going the way of the Roos. So Stevens has got it. McKercher going backwards in the defensive 50. Uses court. Does McKercher. Gets it back, and a beautiful kick sideways. The switch is on to Pink. Steadies, goes short. Couldn't hit a target. So looking for Simpkin. It's been stolen, though, from the Blues. And that was Carroll who's got it. And another intercept in the defensive 50.
Here's McKercher, who's been really busy, goes darting away, kicks it out wide, finds Stevens. McKercher 6 early disposals before half the field's had a look at it, gives it to Stevens. Short kick down the wing, finds Banch, hands it back to Stevens. Takes a bounce on that City wing, kicks North Melbourne inside the attacking 50. Zerha at the drop of the ball, hugs it to his chest. Kept Cowan at the back, and the kick just didn't have any weight or any height on it, and it suited the man in front.
Well, he is playing in front, and he's playing strong football.
The Cowan matchup is worrying.
No, it's not a good one.
So Zerha's about to have his second shot at goal, and he's turned the ball over twice, Cowan. That's a concern for Voss.
Kick from out wide at left half forward. The kick from Zerha won't get there. It'll land in the goal square. Comes off a set of hands. Trembath trying to claim it. He's tackled, taken to ground by Dirksen. Ball spills out. Carroll tumbles a kick out of defence for the Blues, but it's coming back. Pink tackled by McGovern. Ball jars free. Hewitt, he dishes it off by hand towards Evans. Tumbles a kick away, but that's a turnover too. Parker with it for the Roos. Hand pass to Pink. Just needs to pick it up, and his hand pass ends up out of bounds. And that is last disposal. Free kick from McGovern, and Carlton at left half back. They trail by a point, 5.5 minutes in.
Can't go quick, though, unless they're going to use the corridor, because North Melbourne are well set behind the ball.
The skipper uses the corridor, and it almost came undone. It was a great mark in the end under pressure taken by Jagger Smith. He might get it back. No, Newman ignored him. Newman goes straight down towards the top of the goal square where Mackay is. It's a hit down there by Ollie Hollins, and they pile on top. And a big hit by Harry Mackay, who's hunched over behind play. 25 metres out, ball up, pit net, tries to give it off. He was held. It'll be a free kick going to the ruck. And he's their leading goal kicker. Or pit net, rather. He's got 4 for the season. He has been a goal kicker. Mitch McGovern's got the 5.
So, Kel, that's an example of the new way the umpires are doing the ball ups. They're not waiting for the ruckman, just throwing it up. And both ruckmen were arriving late, but Pitnet was first. And I reckon
he grabbed him.
Yeah, I reckon Coleman Jones, just panicked and grabbed at him, gives away the free kick.
Yeah, he's grabbing arms and jumpers.
Pitnet directly in front, 20 metres out. Blues open their account under the closed roof here at Docklands on Good Friday. It's Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. 1-1-7 Carlton. North doing all the attacking, just 2 behinds.
Yeah, they've wasted their chances, North Melbourne. They've had some really good opportunities. The Kirchies had a heap of the ball behind the footy with 6 disposals, Mick. Tell you what, if you're a really, really good kick and you can use it well, you get a nice roll behind the ball, don't you? He is just cruising around. They're giving it to him every chance they can get.
And he's such a beautiful kick.
Yeah.
He really is a wonderful kick.
But Carlton take their chance there. They haven't looked quite as sharp as North Melbourne, but they get the first goal of the game.
0437 774 774, the SMS number. John from West Footscray. Hi guys, happy Easter. No roof open yet again. Why? Only twilight or night games they'll consider opening it if the weather is good enough. So that's the answer to that, John. A slight tweak. Previous to this year, it was just permanently shut for every game. It's roof on at the moment, earlier day, to avoid the shadows, which can cause a few problems on television. There's Pitternet, secondary ball up, grabs it out of the ruck, kicks it forward. McGovern, held by Pink, takes the free hurriedly, kicks into the advantage of Mackay, who leaps up and marks. Late pressure from Comben, couldn't get to it, and Harry Mackay will have a look from right half forward.
Well, there's that problem with Cherry not in the game. Yep. So he's just been, North have been absolutely mauled at the stoppages, mauled by the ruckman, and as a consequence, this ball has come out of that stoppage.
Yeah, Pitnet just dominated the ruck.
Yeah, and the longer he stays on the ball, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Be a tough watch, wouldn't it, if you're Tristan Cherry? Imagine sitting in the stands thinking,
what have I done?
Mackay across the body, hits the post. So Carlton off to a bright start, at least on the scoreboard. North Melbourne couldn't capitalise on their dominance in the first 5 minutes. Blues by 6 points, 1-2, plays 2 behinds. We're 9 minutes in.
A couple of short, sharp kicks. It was Daniel McKercher. Lamyers. White is still around the city side. McDonald back to McKercher. This is disposal number 8 for Colby. Most of them in the defensive 50. Switches on to Daniel. Now he'll go. Kick inside 50. Couldn't quite get there. Jagger Smith, or Chera it was that cut it off. It spills the way through for Florent. He received the handball and he goes long, and taking the mark in that forward 50 is Kemp.
Yeah, I don't know what Pink was doing. He was playing off him, and then the ball was coming in. He kept sort of stayed on the same line off him instead of moving in on him, giving him a bit of a contest at least.
So Brodie Kemp took the mark in the right forward pocket. Tough angle, only 15 out. He hits the post too. Goodness gracious. Carlton by 7 points. North Melbourne had the first 2 set shots, missed both of them. And since then it's been all the Blues.
So Carlton 2 posters. They're actually third last in the competition for accuracy in the young season, so they're only kicking at 41%. Doesn't help their cause.
Awful option.
Larky decides to give it by hand to Daniel. Daniel ran straight into a dead end, goes back, wins it, got a handball away towards Powell. North back with it. Hand pass over to O'Sullivan. He was dealt with as he kicked the ball downfield, and that'll be a free kick. Was it in the act of kicking? No, it was after the event, and this will be a downfield free for the Kangas. And Paul Curtis is going to get a shot at goal. And the offending party's Will Hayward and all of that. He's going to cost his team a look at the sticks.
Well, he bumped him at the same time.
Yeah, it was a hip and shoulder. An old-fashioned bump we don't see too often.
Probably just got rid of it.
And he got him on the shoulder, so he didn't take him high at all.
Finn O'Sullivan getting the plaudits from his teammates. And Paul Curtis is about to be one of those. He's the benefactor, pops through the goal, and the Kangas have their first of the day. So 1-3 to 1-2. It comes from a downfield free kick. 1 point game, Blues on top, 11 minutes in. This is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
He's one of the real, not going to say champion, but he's very, very good, Curtis. He's tough. He rarely misses that left foot. Good mark.
If this North Melbourne team does eventually get really good in the coming years, he's one who's going to feature a big
40,
final.
50 goals. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Tim Hodges on the boundary.
Kel, just keeping an eye on Patrick Cripps, who's just returned to the field straight into the guts. He had strapping on his left knee when he came off the ground. He spoke to the doctors. He's not happy. They've re-strapped it even tighter. So it took him a few strides to even get that left leg moving. But that is a heavily, heavily strapped left knee for Patrick Cripps.
Trembath launches high, gets the tap down, only far down as Cripps.
That's a good tackle.
And
Who
he's
was
tackled.
that? Oh, Wardlaw, of
yeah,
course.
by Wardlaw.
Because Cripps had the momentum to be able to push him off and get free. Superb tackle.
Hewitt's gone to Davies Uniacke. Trembath again in the ruck. Down to Hollins. It was Elijah. Couldn't control it. Byrne drops it. In there as well as Banch. fired the handball out. It's the Blues, and the umpire says it'll be a free kick. It's going to Hewitt. Hewitt looks like he's running with Davies-Uniacke, and he can hit a teammate. And they share it around here. Ollie Florent got the ball in his hands inside that centre square.
Florent comes wide with the kick. He's Jordan Boyd, who's back in the team. First game since round 16 last year against Port Adelaide. Only played 3 games all of 2025. Jordan
that's
Boyd.
50. What was Paul Curtis thinking?
So Curtis has jumped off the mark from the Boyd kick and then straight in the protected area of where Brodie Kemp had just taken the mark. And you can't be there, Paul. So that's a 50-metre penalty, and Brodie Kemp will get another look at the goals.
That's just a brain fade.
Is it?
He ran straight in there. We don't always love the protected area one, Mick, but that's as obvious as they come.
Oh, yeah. If it's an accident,
Yeah.
but if it's not, I mean, he just walked it. It's, as you say, brain fade. It's a tough penalty, isn't it? 50 metres from outside to take inside 50, 25 metres out, 30 metres out.
I actually think the penalty two's on the shorter end of the 50 metres, but I get your premise. So here's Brodie Kemp, who's on his way in. He's kicking from about 35 metres out. Drop punt is good, and that'll hurt. So a goal from a 50-metre penalty. In fact, the last 2 in the game, both by the same fashion. Carlton 2-3-15, North a 1-2-8. 14 minutes into the opening term. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Let's get down to Tim. Tim is Michael Vossi's down there. He's got the headphones on. He looks like he's got a couple of screens in front of him. So he's hooked up communication-wise today, or he was a moment ago.
Yeah, he just took the headset off to have a drink, Kel, but you're right, he's got the full monitor behind the... I'm right behind Vossi. I can see exactly what he's looking at, the behind the goals vision, and he's got the champion data stats on the other screen. Just on the ruse, I think Paul Curtis just had it in his head. He was coming off the ground. That's why he just ran off the mark there, because he thought, well, I've got to get to the bench. The other news here, Finn O'Sullivan came off after that massive bump. He's been with the doctors. They've checked on him. He looks okay. I think they were more worried about maybe a lost tooth or a rattled tooth with that bump.
Another leap by Trembath. He wins the hit out. And it's stolen here by Sheasel. Oh, no, the mark was paid to Young.
I think they called chopped arms.
Yeah,
that
right.
was unlucky for Sheasel. He was off.
So Louis Young is the backup ruck, and he wins the free kick, gives it off, hurried kick, right on 50, and steaming out and taking a good mark was Haywood. Took it on his chest, leapt into the air, had a step on his opponent. And Haywood, who's 10 metres in from the boundary line on the city side, kicking to the northern end, says, I'm not going to back myself in.
Terrible kick.
Just picks it up, almost was looking for Mackay, went over his head to Pink. Couple of handballs in there by North Melbourne. Simpkin with the dump kick, and Florent protected the drop zone and takes the mark, can send it back inside 50. A couple of swans on the kicking duties from outside 50, trying to find a Blues opponent.
Florent kicks to full forward and just over the head of his intended target. An easy intercept for Davies-Uniacke.
That's 2 awful kicks inside forward 50 by Carlton. Both times just sailing over the head of the leading forward. Didn't even give them a sniff at it.
Oh, short to Parker, who goes long down the wing. Zerha went to climb, hands on the footy, no mark. Darling scoops it up, kicks to half forward, finds Larkey, 60 from home, centering kick to Trembath. He's got it for the Roos. Now home jumper with the blue and white stripes and the royal blue shorts. Carlton in the navy blue with the white monogram and the white shorts. Trembath to full forward. Elijah Hollins flew for it. Pack collapsed in front of him. And the reason was that Nick Larkin was pulled down illegally.
Yeah. Well, Wiedering just ran straight in and just knocking straight over.
What is going on today, Mick? We've had a downfield free kick for a goal. We've had a brain fade 50-metre penalty. Jacob Wiedering has just...
pushed him straight out of the game.
That is as clear a free kick. That's schoolyard footy.
It is.
It's not Good Friday, it's Bad Friday at the moment.
So this could be the 4th goal of the game. It is all of them from free kicks. Incredible start, 2-3 to 2-2. We are 17 minutes in. It's Carlton by a point. And we've had a lot of intervention and all of it's been worthy.
Yeah,
this is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
That's the one, Mick, where the ball comes up to the pack at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And your mate, who you sort of like but sort of don't like, is clearly going to mark the ball.
So you take him out.
You just cannon into him and go, no, mate, you're not marking the footy.
Yeah.
And that was as obvious as
Yeah,
they
you're not going to have a good afternoon at school.
Oh, what was Wiedering thinking? Inside of these crazy ways of ending up with goal. There's some decent passages of play. Both teams are trying to link up pretty well. Foot skills have been okay, and there's some flow to the game. But then it's these weird kicks inside forward 50 or obviously getting goals from free kicks and downfields.
Blues by a point. Pitnet back into the ruck, and he wins it this time over Trenbath. Handballs into space. Running onto it was Parker. Just grubbers the kick. Still in the midfield. Clever little tap. Wardlaw picks it up. Gives it off to Sheasel. He pokes it out in front of Darling. Going back with the flight. Jack Darling, a sensational mark.
He's taken that on Dirksen, was it? Dirksen, yeah.
Cowan was involved somewhere there again. He might have been trailing
behind.
Dirksen.
Yep.
Dirksen. Yep.
I'm not sure. It's just, if he's kicked goals up in Darwin, he's playing in an area which you're not going to take prisoners. Jack Darling's not in great form.
Had to run back with the flight. He was dropped last week. Kicked 3 goals in the VFL as part of his 18 disposals. 20 metres out. And the sharpshooter doesn't miss. And he's fired up. And North hit the front. They lead it by 5 points after a couple of early nervy set shot misses. 3-2-20. Carlton 2-3-15. It's the Kangas by 5.
We love the story of Wade Dirksen, Mick, but the best way to play a 323 game player, Jack Darling, back into form is to put him on a first gamer onto him. And that was just forward line craft, a back lead. Knew where the flight of the ball was.
Covers the ball, doesn't?
Yeah, launched himself, turned his body at the right time. I think Darling will have far too much smarts for a first gamer.
323rd game against a number 1.
Yeah, and you could tell all that experience.
Restart back in the middle. Pitternet hooks it down behind for the Blues. Trying to get after it. Cripps got a hand pass away under pressure to Chera. I love having him back, returning from his latest hamstring. Kicks inside 50 and an intercept mark for O'Sullivan.
That's all Carlton have done, Corbs, is sail the ball over their forwards' heads.
Yeah. Whereas North Melbourne actually, they're looking for players in their front 50.
O'Sullivan trying to measure the kick. Dangerous. Elijah Hollins picks it off. So the intercept mark for the Blues, and Hollins with it about 2 kicks from goal. He's trying to make it 1 as he arcs out to his right. 55 out, kicks to full forward. Offhand, spills down the way of Walsh. Kick smothered. Stevens with the 1 for a centre. And it was a goal saver from Dylan Stevens. Through it goes for a behind. So North Melbourne's lead trimmed to 4. 3-2 to 2-4. As we tick into time on in this opening term, the Kangas by 4 points.
Former Bulldog, Caleb Daniel, brings it back into play. Gives it off to Comben, and he kept running, and he receives the handball as he goes round the dock side. Up to the wing goes Daniel. Dersma launched, tapped down in there by Cripps. Dersma picks it up. Stevens running backwards, off to Sheasel, all by hand. Stevens just trying to buy themselves some time, looks at the option down the line, went for Darling. It was a good spoil by the debutant from behind in Dirksen. Now the umpire says holding the ball, and it'll be a Blues free kick, and away they go.
Short kick finds Hayward. As the Blues working down to half forward, wanted to get it to Mackay, runs underneath it, Slash went over his head, and in the end the pack forms behind him. We've got a ball up again, half forward for the Blues.
Went over his head.
Yeah, that was a really good lead. That wasn't him. That was just a poor kick.
Yeah.
Poor kick.
They were 18th in the competition last year, the Blues, for kick retention. Their field kicking, worst in the comp. From the stoppage, Sheasel hands it to Wardlaw along the boundary line, and Newman gets across, knocks it out of play. Nick Newman, they've missed his foot skills and work behind the footy.
You'd rather put the ball slightly in front of the forward leading and end up on the ground. At least he can make a play
Control
on the ball.
Yeah.
If you sail it over his head, then the defender just nudges him under, intercept, away they go.
Mops up.
So it's 12 back in on the City side. Sheasel at ground level doing some great work. High kick to centre half forward. Bouncing ball. Wiedering kept his feet. Flicks it over the top to Dirksen. Zerha just comes in. Bumps him off the footy. I think Dirksen hasn't started this game yet. It's been a bit of a slow start for him. Walsh comes in. He handballed. Sold his teammate Chera into all sorts of trouble. In fact, it was Jagger Smith. And the ball spills clear and they jump on top. It'll be a ball up top of the right on the 50 here, almost centre half forward for the Roos. Coleman Jones in a wrestle with Pitternet. He gets it down to Chera, hurried kick on the edge of the circle. Daniel, desperate launch, almost Superman-like. Down towards Pink, was under the pump. Handballs into space. Here's O'Sullivan, tried to take him on. Mitch McGovern. And it's play on advantage, and Jagger Smith jumps up, and they've got him. Brilliant tackle by Daniel.
It was.
Absolutely brilliant by the former Bulldogs player. And 50, is it? Or play on advantage. Stevens took the mark on the dock side. It'll come back to Daniel. So Smith popped up, took off, was going to steady from 45 and have a shot before Caleb Daniel came flying through and launched himself like Superman for a tackle.
How good is the chase down tackle?
Back to fantastic. Back. But have a look at the 50s. That's gone full. I'll go through that later.
McGovern into Daniel, back to back, one either way. So Daniel sends the Roos inside 50. Trembuff had it, lost it. Wiedering with a get out of here kick towards halfback for the Blues. Pink just knocks it down to the advantage of Myers. Collects 60 metres out, and he turns, kicks to full forward. Trembuff flying for it, no mark, spills to Walsh. Blues back with it. Cowan gave it to Elijah Hollins. He panicked, caught in the tackle. The Kangas win it back. Coleman Jones took too long. He's caught.
No, they've called it for a throw just before that tackle, Corbs. It's going to be North Melbourne shot at goal.
Hollins, I think.
Oh, Boyd thought he was getting the free. In the end, he plays a role of quarterback, returning the footy. The overhead pass to Tom Powell, and Powell's going to get the kick here. 15 out just right of centre.
It was a throw.
Yeah, it was. Yep, good call.
Throw over his head, those without contact. Yeah.
So here we go. The Kangas to capitalise on that forward pressure and to extend their advantage. Powell stabs at the kick and misses.
His body was facing towards the point post.
There was zero momentum through anything.
No, everything that you get taught. He just did everything opposite. His body was, as a right foot, he was facing between the left point post and left goal post. He had no momentum and then stabbed it.
North by 5, should be a whole lot more. 25 minutes into the opening term. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, this will be a nervous kick from Cowan, unless he just goes sideways to Wiedering.
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah, just take it.
Yep.
Get the nerves out of the system.
No, don't receive it back, son.
Yeah.
He's got it. So Wiedering's kick went over Cowan's head, and now he's under the pump. Nice little sidestep of down. Zurha was charging at him. Wouldn't be a pretty sight, but he's steady.
Right in the back.
And that mark has been paid. Goodness me. So it was a mark to Carroll on the outer wing, and the Blues move it quickly. Now they've got it to Boyd. The defender running down over to Hollins. This is Ollie. Oh, he's kicked it straight into the man, McKercher, who was charging at him. He's had a wonderful opening term. Gets it back to Parker. Last line of defence. Aidan Core just thumps it out of there, and it goes straight down the throat of Boyd, who can reset and go again for the Blues.
North Melbourne's ability to set up outside their back 50 is atrocious. Totally atrocious.
His Boyd, the 27-year-old, kicks to full forward and will bounce off the chest of Pitternet. Ball spills down. Little soccer attempt from the Blues across the goal mouth. Kangas away. Sheasel. Hand pass away to Tom Myers. One of the feel-good stories in footy this year. Just kicks in hope down the wing. There's not a lot there. Oh, big hanger attempt from Walsh. His teammate steals it from him, Newman. And the stepladder in all of that was Larkey.
He saw.
He picks himself back up, holding the back of his head.
Yeah, knee to the back of the head, wasn't it? Ouch.
Gee, Walsh got up really high. Now he runs further afield to receive the footy from Newman. Kicks it into the pocket. Punched away by Parker. Combat spills to him. Handball away to Blamires. Kicks out of defence. Close to the boundary line. O'Sullivan attacks it. Wins it. Got it away to Sheasel. Roos on half-back. That handball dangerous. Picked off. Smith knocked it down to Walsh. Hand pass away to Evans. Back to Smith. Got a handball away in the tackle from O'Sullivan to Elijah Hollins. Feeds it to Evans. Kicks inside 50. Kemp waiting out the back. Takes the mark. And he's read the play.
That's a free kick. Kick's going to go to McGovern. He was thrown out of the contest.
Yeah, it was another kick that went over the head of the intended target. And I thought Kemp was just thinking, you know what, if they're going to keep doing that, I'll just run out the back. Instead, McGovern gets the free.
That's a good tactic.
What I said before about North Melbourne setup, I'm waiting until after this shot.
We'll get down to Hodgie soon because the doctor is out to the North Melbourne captain as well.
And 12-year-old Mayer from the Royal Children's Hospital told Mitch McGovern, don't crack under pressure. McGovern in the corridor, follows the advice, delivers. Blues in front. 27 minutes in, Carlton 3-4-22, North Melbourne 3-3-21. 27 and a half minutes in, Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. Tim Hodges, Hodgie.
Well, the doctor has been out to Nick Larkey and then come back empty-handed. He said he wasn't coming off. I think this is going to be one of those awkward ones where they'll be told to bring him off to be checked. It wasn't even... it was Kemp who took that mark, wasn't it? Sam Walsh was the stray knee from the massive fly that actually flattened Larkey. So this is going to be a watch for the next minute or so, and I think the ARC will probably get involved to say bring him off for a proper check that he was down on the ground so long.
Blues back in front by 1 point. Just a couple of seconds left before quarter time. And it's Pitnet and Coleman Jones in the ruck. Coleman Jones takes it out of there. High kick, skies it to half forward. Had to really get on his bike then, did Elijah Hollands. He takes the mark and says slow it down. He kicks sideways to Newman. Defensive side of the broadcast or dockside wing up to Cripps. Got his hands to it. It rolls over the boundary line. It'll be touched, so it's a boundary throw in half forward here for Carlton. North Melbourne had the first couple of set shots and missed them. They had the first 20 of the first 24 disposals before the Blues finally got their hands on the footy and settled. And they have kicked the last goal before quarter time to take a 1 point lead into the first change. 3-4-22 to North 3-3-21. The goal kickers McGovern, Kemp and Pitternet. And for the Roos, Curtis, Larkey and Darling. Sam Walsh flew for a mark, put his knee into the back of the head of Nick Larkey, the North Melbourne captain, and we'll get Tim Hodges to keep an eye on that at quarter time because he really should come off for an HIA. Corby.
4 lead changes in that opening quarter of footy. The Blues by 1. They have now led all 4 games at quarter time this season. GoodFridayAppeal.com.au is the place you can go if you are able to donate to the Royal Children's Hospital. Of course, the Good Friday Appeal now in its 95th year, raising vital funds for the Royal Children's Hospital. This is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Who will win the AI race? Has gambling become our national sport?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
25 metres out, ball up, Pitnet tries to give it off. He was held. It'll be a free kick going to the ruck. Pitnet directly in front, 20 metres out. Blues open their account under the closed roof here at Docklands.
Hand pass over to O'Sullivan. He was dealt with as he kicked the ball downfield, and that'll be a free kick. Was it in the act of kicking? No, it was after the event, and this will be a downfield free for the Kangas. Paul Curtis is going to get a shot at goal. Finn O'Sullivan getting the plaudits from his teammates. And Paul Curtis is about to be one of those. He's the benefactor, pops through the goal, and the Kangas have their first of the day. Trembuff to full forward. Elijah Hollands flew for it, pack collapsed in front of him, and the reason was that Nick Larkey was pulled down illegally. So this could be the 4th goal of the game. It is, all of them from free kicks.
Gives it off to Sheasel. He pokes it out in front of Darling. Going back with the flight, Jack Darling, a sensational mark. 20 metres out, and the sharpshooter doesn't miss, and he's fired up.
Kicks inside 50, Kent waiting out the back, takes the mark, and he's read the play.
That's a free kick. Kick's going to go to McGovern. He was thrown out of the contest.
Yeah, it was McGovern in the corridor, follows the advice, delivers. Blues in front.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Carlton by a point after 4 lead changes in that opening term. The Good Friday Super Clash on ABC Sport. Still to come tonight, Adelaide hosting Fremantle at Adelaide Oval. The thoughts of Mick Malthouse and Cameron Ling on ABC Sport.
Well, Mick, I think we've got a reasonably entertaining game.
We have.
They're even. There's a bit of back and forth and everything like that. One thing that perhaps needs to be banned is letting the Brisbane Lions play on a Thursday night before the entire round of football, because I can't help but keep comparing the way these two teams are playing to the 2-time reigning champs.
Yeah.
And they're not playing in the same stratosphere as the Brisbane Lions, unfortunately.
They are in the top 10. Brisbane are. Brisbane not in the top 10, Lingy.
But together against each other, it's working as a game of football. The ball's moving up and down, as I said. Amazingly, the inside 50s are 16-10 Carlton's way.
Yep.
But as we've said right throughout the first quarter, they are just kicking woefully inside with that last kick inside forward 50, sailing it over their forwards' heads. But Mick, as you brought up, when North Melbourne try and bring the ball back out of their defensive 50,
that's why it's going back in.
They got nowhere to go.
I'm really, outside of the stats for a start off, they're very low. So it's an open game. We've had 4 stoppages. They've 8 stoppages or clearances. So it hasn't been one of these games where there's a lot of stoppage work where the heavy bodies can get in there and make something happen. It's just going up and down across the ground a fair bit. But I will say this a million times about sides. You can always judge a side by how smart it is when the ball's locked in your back line and you've got it, and then it comes to you and you've got to do something with the football. And you bomb it out, and all you look up and you find that the opposition have got it beautifully done outside, and you've got no representation. And time again, the reason why I went back to Carlton's got 16 in is because North Melbourne had no one outside to bring it back to take it forward in their half. So, if I can just say to those that aren't watching the game and listening, is that when the ball's in, say, North Melbourne's back line, the most important thing is you have a structure outside the back 50, so the players who get the football, even if they bang it out, they've got someone there to be able to kick the football too. And the right way to do it is like a box 4. So in other words, if it goes deep, you've got players. If it goes shallow, you've got players. And if it goes wide, you've got players. So in other words, it doesn't take Einstein to work it out that if you have this box formation, you're going to virtually cover most things that come out of your back 50 under pressure.
But Carlton have got a +3 or 4 outside set up. So what that says to me is, at the moment, North Melbourne don't fully trust those around the ball.
They're kick chasing.
So they're saying, we need a +4 back deep inside our forward 50 to even win it back and get it back outside.
Well, that's 14 players, Lingy.
Yeah.
You don't need 14 back.
No, rather than saying, hey, let's have a +1 back there, an extra number, extra number just to support all our defenders and our mids. So, great, we got an extra 1. Then when we win it out, we know that at worst, we're going to be outnumbered by only one person outside.
And you can take care of him by manning him up and let the deepest be 3.
We create a contest, we buy some time to run in a wave and support, and then we can transfer the ball the length of the ground. The trust factor's not quite there yet for the Kangaroos.
Thoughts of Cameron Ling and Mick Moldhouse? It's quarter time. Carlton, as they have done throughout the season so far, lead going into the second term. Corbin Middlemass, Kelly Underwood, Tim Hodges, Mick Moldhouse, Cameron Ling, your call team. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport as Wiedering palms it down. Sheasel had it, lost it. Walsh for the Blues, got it to Chera. Away to Elijah Hollands, back to Chera, goes darting away, kicks it down to half forward. Carlton off to the Coventry end of this second term. Kicks picked off. McKercher collects, darts away, but in reverse, and then goes wide to Blamires. It's a push.
Blamires just did Colby McKercher a huge favour there to work hard to be an option and an outlet, because McKercher had got himself in trouble, and you're desperate that the teammate is going to do the work to give you an option there.
Blamires, long kick down the wing, gets at the back. Wiedering tried to knock it away. Banch races onto the footy. Alex goes with a hand pass back to Davies Uniacke for the Kangas. He retreats all the way back to Parker. That's a lateral kick, not the required distance. McKercher's got to move it. Dangerous ball. Evans leaps up, outnumbered now as it hits the deck. Kangas still with the numbers. Evans, though, with the advantage. Collects, goes to ground. Comben tackles him, sits on it. Yeah. Umpire waits, holding the ball.
You choose to go to ground there. Sorry, Frankie Evans. You did a mountain of work to actually make it contest, but you've got to stay on your feet there and try and win the ball.
Comben keeps it low, hits up Stevens on the wing, the dock side. Here's O'Sullivan. Gives it back to McDonald, and now Stevens. They're sharing it by hand, working their way down the wing. Back to Luke McDonald. He's on his preferred left. He scuffs the kick, though. It's a rolling, tumbling ball straight through the legs of Pitnet, but Wiedering was there to mop up. He flares the handball wide to Hollands. Elijah, beautiful kick. Hits up Frankie Evans, who then puts it over the top to Jagger Smith. Beat McKercher in the air and then keeps it low. Target down there was Mackay. Smith kept going and going. He's had to tackle Luke Davies Uniacke in the end, Stevens, and now the Roos emerge in that defensive 50 with the footy. Smith couldn't quite hit up. Big Harry had to get down low and couldn't take the mark.
McDonald goes short. Finds Stevens, who gets a hurry on and chase from Byrne. Long kick down the line and Trembath.
Oh, well done.
Very lucky.
Made that kick look good. That was an awful option.
He's got the shin guard on today to give a chop out in the ruck. Kicks the centre half forward. Power can't mark. Bench cleans it up. Gives it back to Power. Kicks on the run. He's offline. Behind for Tom Power. A couple of looks today. Knots it up at 22 apiece. 3-4 plays 3-4. 2.5 minutes into the second term.
So Boyd now to bring it back into play. The northern end of the stadium, he runs left and now he's running right. Kicks almost straight down the centre and he pinpoints Pitnet, and it was beautiful kick in the end. Running past him was Hollins. He gave it to Ollie and Ollie's kicked it straight to McDonald for the Kangaroos. And now the Roos are away through Sheasel. Off to O'Sullivan. Dabs the kick over the head of Wiedering. It was well placed. Here's a chance. Bench! Looking to go for goal. And he misses.
Why did Lingy mention Brisbane last night?
I told you shouldn't let Brisbane play on a Thursday night, Mick. You can't help but compare.
What do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. Just trying to compare to the two-time reigning premiers. Blues short kicking game out of defence. Walsh to Florent. Hand pass away to Newman. Couldn't get back on his left peg. Gives it to Dirksen. Handball away to Florent. Runs into trouble. Good tackle, Curtis holding the ball. They had nothing they liked downfield, and in the end, Carlton overpossessed it and coughed it up.
Yeah, that's a case of Carlton not being isolated in front of the ball. It gave no options. So the longer you procrastinate, the more chances are of getting caught. Curtis doesn't miss when he tackles you.
Still only 23 years of age. He's
good player, really good player.
Has he got this distance?
I reckon he has.
I think he has, yeah.
Pound for pound, the strongest man in the game. That's not a good kick, and wobbles to the goal line. And Trembath marks right in front of the goal umpire. He's in the middle of the goal face and marks a helicopter on his chest. How was that allowed to happen?
That was a short pass. Curtis misses a goal. If he doesn't win the goal kicking by one goal.
Somehow nobody touched it. Through to Trembath, and the easiest goal he'll ever kick. Slams it up into the top deck. North Melbourne by 7 points, 4-5 to 3-4. This is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. 5 minutes into the second term. Tim Hodges on the boundary.
Both captains are a bit of a watch at the moment, Corbin. Patrick Cripps is just waiting for Sam Walsh to come back on the ground. He's got more strapping on that left knee. He looks totally uncomfortable, even hopping up off the bench. It looked like Mick hopping up to go to the toilet at half time. And just one on...
You've been watching me.
I'm just firing one back at you, Mick. And Nick Larkey, he wasn't spoken to at all during the quarter-time break by the doctors, which I find staggering after the severity of that knee from Sam Walsh to the back of his head. You know, he was face first into the turf for multiple seconds. Like, I thought that was the whole thing, is to get them off, make sure they're right, not just go out and have a quick chat to them out on the ground and then just thumbs up and off you go.
Restart in the centre, the umpire's picked out a free. It's going to Davies Uniacke. Dabs the pass to Dylan Stevens.
We're all over him at the moment, North.
Yeah.
Just where Carlton have to be really careful.
Wheels around on the left. It's a penetrating kick, top of the goal square. Trembath was there. He launched. Zerha was clever, tried to get it down to his former flatmate in Larkey. Instead, it's the Blues with possession. Hurried kick out of there. It goes the Dock side. Big tackle down there. Core was involved. And now it's Sheasel with the footy. He skies it to the top of the goal square. Trembath waiting at the back is Zerha. Curtis comes through and a hurried kick off there by the Blues defence. It was Chera it eventually came off of, and a rush behind.
When you see that sort of play, the type of play that both sides are missing is that Cameron, and I'm talking about the smaller forward pocket players, that they can crumb that ball and maximise it.
North by 8 points, early stages of the second.
Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. Ollie Hollins marks the kick out, goes long down the line, skims off the knuckles of Comben, close to the boundary, picked up here by McKercher in front of the interchange gates, gives it to Coleman Jones, to Sheasel, to Stevens, all by hand. Stevens now kicks inside 50. Zerha knocked out of the way, all legally. And in the end, taken by Wiedering with the intercept mark.
I think the way Larky's playing, if I can just say, Corby, he's not playing a confident role at full forward. The way to get Wiedering moving, and he needs to be moved, is come up the ground, almost start your run 15 metres out and work up to 65 metres. So he has to chase you. You've still got Curtis who can kick goals. So he's got to work. He's not in the play at all.
Newman Boyd away to Hewitt, then to Ollie Hollands, and now a long kick after the series of short kicks to Ainsworth, who marks and goes with the 45 back to Hewitt.
See if they take a little bit off their kick inside 50 now, the Blues. Let their forward come onto the ball.
This has been a problem for them as he kicks in the direction of Kemp, and again it goes over his head. Waiting out the back, collected by McGovern, spun around in the tackle. He wasn't completely stopped, gets a handball away to Ainsworth, kicks to full forward, there's no one there. Intercept mark for Blamires at fullback for North, so the Kangas by 8 points, 8 minutes into the second term.
Clear message down back is get it to McKercher, because the short Blamires kick and McKercher takes them on. He gets around Pitnet. Oh, he's kicked into another Blues player in Chera. Back to Pitnet. McKercher wraps him up. McKercher wins the free. He got it back. He had it, he lost it, and now he got it back because he tackled the Blues ruckman and he flared it wide. It needed to be pinpoint to Daniel, and it was. He found him. He's running along the city wing. He's going to get it back here after he shared it with Blamires. And again, over-possessing it, and again another turnover. Quick kick, Cripps has got it. Gives it off to Frankie Evans on the left, pokes it into the pocket, and this time the Blues hit a target inside 50. McGovern's got it. Tight angle though. Left forward pocket for Mitch McGovern.
That's how you kick the ball inside forward 50. Just lower it down a little bit. Let your forward run onto it. It was beautiful on the left from Evans. Fantastic kick. Mitch McGovern had done the work. Got the break on his opponent. That's a really nice entry.
A lot of overuse, Lingy. Yeah. That's what's causing these turnovers. Just one hand pass too many. Get the ball into your forward line if you're not good enough.
So McGovern, he's already kicked a goal. On the right, he'll need to thread it. It's going to land in play, and then it's fisted over.
Free kick. Terrible free kick from Dylan Stevens. Just grabbed at Pitnet. So obvious, and he didn't need to do it.
Coleman Jones had the leap on Pitnet. I was watching Coleman Jones and fist it through.
Stevens had to know he had Coleman Jones exactly there, Cal.
Exactly.
Why he grabbed at him, I do not know.
Just a little tug of the jumper before the Blues ruckman went to launch. So Pitnet's got it now in the right forward pocket. Only 10, 15 metres out. He kicked the first goal of the afternoon for the Blues. And that hurts. And they close to within 2 points, Carlton. They've kicked 4 goals apiece. We've been going 10 minutes in the second term, and it's North by 2. 4-6-30, the Blues 4-4-28.
Just on those, can I just say, just on the 7 goals that have been scored, 1 from a mark, the other 6 are all from free kicks or 50-metre penalties.
Downfield, yeah.
So there's...
But
this
you're
is
not
the game.
surprised by that, given the entries inside forward.
Not the way it has at both ends.
Yeah.
Really, that's a disappointing thing about it. McKercher at the moment is best kick. You know what? Waste of time in the back line now because they've got to win the game. So bring him more towards the wing so he's using the ball into the 50 metres, and vice versa on the other side. Get Carlton's best kickers in the middle of the ground to take the ball inside, because at the moment their best kickers are behind the ball.
Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. Trembath leaps up, palms it down. There's a free kick. It's going Carlton's way. A hold on Cripps in all of that. Got a hand pass away towards Chera. Ugly kick inside the forward 50. Knocked back by Daniels. Scooped up by Ainsworth though. Carlton still with it. Hand pass away to Florin at centre half forward. Under pressure. Tried to get it back to Cripps. This pressure immense. Nice work from the Roos, and Parker with the chase down tackle on Cripps. Wins possession back for North. So 11 minutes into the second term, North by a couple, kick's not great, touched on the way through, spills to Davies Uniacke, hand pass to Curtis, with strength, fends off the would-be tackler, gives it to McKercher, his kick no good, but there's an out-of-zone umpire saying we've got another free kick here, and Curtis is in a tangle off the ball, and he is having words with Patrick Cripps, and yet Paul Curtis is getting to Sharon.
And neither of them really know what for on the replay.
Curtis kicks to full forward, hands on it from Larkey, no mark as Wiedering went underneath it. Pack forms behind a pair, and now we've got a ball up full forward for North Melbourne. Kangas by 2.
We know umpires are going to be hot on any rubbing of the head or, off ball, toing and froing that gets above the neck. That's clearly what must have happened with Cripps.
Young down to Chera, and then the quick kick out of the defence. Mackay is there. Davies Uniacke picked it up. He tried to give it to McKercher. He went without it. Florent is tackled. Picked up by Cripps. Quick hands. Umpire doesn't blow a whistle. Ainsworth's involved, but it's stolen here by McDonald for the Roos. He goes inside 50. It's a loose ball. It sits for Hewitt. Quick hands to Evans. Evans then piercing kick down the line. Finally hits a target in Mackay. He's too far out to score. He's streaming down the wing. He's going to put it out in front of Ainsworth. Parker's bearing down. Ainsworth slips over. Parker gets him. Slips out to Daniel and the Roos through McKercher, and then Parker well played by the small back line, although the kick into the centre of the ground was intended for Curtis, and up over the top, Lockie Cowan's taken the mark. He sees something he likes in the left forward pocket, backing back, and taking the mark was Nick Newman, a long way from home, which is usually down at half back. And Nick Newman floating inside 50, back with the flight, takes the mark and will line up for a set shot in his first game back, Nick Newman, in more than 573 days it's been. His last game was the elimination final in 2024. Missed all last year after undergoing a knee reconstruction. Former Swan in career best form when he last played a game. He's 40 metres out on his left. He turns to the crowd and he is pumped, Nick Newman, and he's a popular team member, and they flood in from everywhere and they do the stacks on. Maybe the igniter, maybe that spark they need here, the Blues. It's been an old-fashioned tug of war, and now it's Carlton back in front by 4. 5-4-34, North Melbourne 4-6-30, halfway through the second term.
They get a mark inside forward 50 there, the Blues. Well done by Nick Newman floating down. But again, it was from a mistake of an over-kicked ball. And both teams are doing it so often. How many times both Corbs and Cal have called, that ball goes over the target's head. It's just floating over. So players have got to realise that. You're playing indoors, perfect conditions. Just take a little bit off your kick. Bring your teammate onto the footy rather than constantly floating it over his head.
Lead change number 6. Trembath wins it down. North come up with it. So Sullivan got a hand pass to Trembath. Now to Wardlaw. Back to McKercher. He retreats by hand to Parker. Bruce now at centre half back, having only had possession from the restart. Long kick wide out to Daniel, who marks at right half back. Defensive side of the wing. He retreats by hand to McDonald. Blues close them down. Short kick finds Pink. Toby Pink's got a defensive side of the wing. 15 minutes into the second term, Blues by 4. Hands it off to McKercher. Short kick finds Daniel. Daniel in the slow play now against the boundary line City wing. It's just going to go with a long contest kick down the line. They come from all directions. Dersma up in front. That's a nice contested mark with the pack behind him.
Inspired by his younger brother, I think, Corbin.
2 weeks in a row he's hung out with his brothers. Had Xavier last week, had Willem the week before. No relative, as far as I'm aware, he's playing against today. He goes short to bench. His bench, mid-season recruit last year, the small forward. He's just going to lay it up. Kicks to full forward. Wiedering's down there. Hands on it from Mackay. He takes the intercept mark at fullback for Carlton. So 4-point lead for the Blues. 16 minutes gone in this second term. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Got it up full-back. Harry Mackay. Long kick around the eastern wing. Young's got it and he's set upon. Tackled by Byrne.
His sister does play for Carlton, though, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
Yeah, so the AFLW
there
as
you
opposed
go.
to the men's comp.
Yasmin Dersma.
The 3 teams in 3 weeks for young Zane.
Holding the ball, Ping. There's been a lot of whistle in this game, and the free kick is going to the Roos.
Bench has got it again. I think he's got to learn from his last entry. Take a bit off the kick. Let your forward come onto it.
He goes. He sees something he likes. Oh, waiting at the back was Wiedering. So the target was Larkey. He slipped over. Wiedering takes an uncontested defensive mark. And they're off. Oh, under the pump there, the Blues have got the numbers to get them out of strife. And off they go.
Carroll He's on the end of the string of handballs and then just drills his kick onto the chest of Kemp, who takes the mark logo on that city wing, goes short away to Hewitt. Hewitt lifts a hand pass back to Carroll. Between wing and half forward, he closes to about 60 out, kicks into the pocket. Comben punches it about 20 rows back and away from Evans, hitting up on the lead. 17 minutes into this second term, 4-point lead for the Blues.
Comben's developing nicely.
He is, yeah. That's a bit of speed too for a tall fella.
Jokes have already started on the SMS about whether Carlton are better off leading or trailing at half-time after a recent history, as Byrne got a hand pass back inside the field of play. It's out off Cripps. Luca at Larks Bay moments ago. Things looking positive for Carlton. They're behind in the first half at least. That must have sent it just before the last goal in the game, which went Nick Newman's way. So Carlton now in front. 18 minutes gone in the second term, Blues by 4.
They kick the last 2 goals as it spins back into play. Young and Darling in the ruck. Louis Young just hacks the kick inside 50. Harry Mackay comes out to meet it. He's dispossessed. Quick handball here by the Roos. Pink, Sheasel, short kick. Daniel in everything. Can go wider still to Trenbarth, who's super impressive this year. And he takes the uncontested mark at half-back. Stabs the pass, finds Simpkin, the former captain. He's got it just a few metres down from the Blues bench, where Pitnet's trying to get back on. That barely goes the required 15, but Sheasel takes the uncontested mark. Short, sharp kicks. Back to Simpkin. Doesn't go the required distance. Play on. Spins his way out of what it would have been an Ollie Florent tackle, and then spears it to Powell. Stop-start as they go forward. Set up here for Dersma. Good spoil it was from Boyd. Handballs back into space. Walsh was there. Gives it to Florent. Had to just throw it on the boot. Davies Uniac, right place, right time with the turnover. The intercept mark. He's a long way from home. He goes short to Powell. So Powell now with the all-important kick inside 50. What does he do? He stabs it. He was looking for Curtis, and then Larkey came over at the back, and it was George Hewitt that took the intercepting mark. Again, an overcooked kick.
Outlet kick finds Carroll, who kicks it down the line of that centre square, finds Kemp, marks, looks corridor for Walsh. Walsh's kick, weighted in front of Cripps, completes the mark, strolls onto the logo dockside. Long kick out wide for Elijah Hollins. He's got Mackay hitting up on the lead, kicks it to his advantage, hands to it, Comben breaks it up. Finds the safety at the boundary line. Mackay wanted the free, it's not forthcoming. And a boundary throwing here, right half forward for the Blues. Fair enough?
Oh, it was line. Yeah, it could have been, actually could have gone Mackay's way. It was a great effort by Comben, desperation, probably got over his shoulder a touch.
Blues by 4, off the ruckman, spills to Chera, he kicks to full forward, Kemp gets another look at it, one-on-one with McDonald, Kemp becomes tackler, McDonald caught, ball trickles through, holding the ball. The late whistle goes the way of Brodie Kemp. McDonald took possession, had to try and have an exit strategy, he didn't, was caught, and Kemp is given a gift in the goal square.
Oh, he had his hand, it was a brilliant tackle.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere.
Nah.
The best he could have done is what his boot did, and that's what he tried to do.
It's proven to be the score source of the day. Another goal from a free kick. Kemp pops it through from point-blank range. And Carlton are out by 10 points. Time on in the second term. The Baggers 6-4-40. North Melbourne 4-6-30. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Luke McDonald was either, as you said, he was trying to get a kick because Kemp was still running with him. He couldn't actually get steady enough to kick.
No.
And then he almost wanted the rugby try. Can I dive over the line? He was just in a world of hurt. And well done, Brodie Kemp. Worked hard to deserve that one.
I don't know about you, but just both forward lines are collapsing when the ball is in their back half. They have too many going back to assist. When it comes out, the laborious way of bringing the ball forward is because they don't have numbers.
Yes.
Both sides are trying to, I don't know whether they're trying to help their back line out, but the system is breaking down. It's just a complete collapse of both forward lines.
Tossed up in the air again. Pitnet wins it down to Simpkin though. O'Sullivan involved. Tried to hit up LDU, and Pitnet just got there and smashed at it. Went about 20-30 metres to centre half forward. Now Walsh is applying a tackle on O'Sullivan. What did you say? They're second cousins?
That's right.
And Sullivan right next to Walsh now as it's thrown up in the air. Pitnet again slaps it down. Powell loops the handball. Back to McDonald, and he goes wider still to Dylan Stevens on his left. He's got Larkey in some space right on 50, takes the uncontested mark. Wiedering closes in late. So Larkey, who got a heavy knock in that first term, has kicked the 1 goal so far. He's just going to lay it up to the goal square. Oh, Dersma floats across the pack. His long locks floating in the air with the headband, and he has taken a Good Friday special in the goal square for the Roos fans.
Now, if you're going to dump a ball in the forward line, he actually waded up with 2 players on the move into there. So Carlton's defence couldn't have a good sighter at it.
So Zane Dersma from directly in front. He won't miss from here, and he doesn't. After 3 in a row to the Blues, they hit back the Kangaroos, and it's back within 4 points. North 5-6-36, Carlton 6-4-40. North led by as much as 8, the Blues by as much as 10, and it's now 4 points with just under 3 minutes to play before half-time.
Yeah, he's a nice athlete, isn't he,
Yep.
Dersma? And even before the mark he took maybe 5 or 6 minutes ago, when he's able to float across the pack, he just gets there at the right time, the highest point. Good set of hands. That's just a nice classic mark.
And that's why it was a good kick, because no one had settled.
And it allowed him to run
onto it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Former pick 4. They've got 7 top 5 picks out there today, North Melbourne, in their team. So a lot of high-end talent as it's one down towards Jagger Smith. He was taken high, got a hand pass away to Chera. Chera took the advantage, said the umpire. Davies Uniacke handed out to the wing. Blamires kicks inside to forward 50. Curtis almost completed the mark, not to be. Clever toe poke back into a dangerous spot. Wardlaw runs onto it, but there's a free before that as Florent shoved out of the way illegally. It's going against Powell. Just draped the arm over the shoulder in the shepherding effort. Carlton with it. Florent to Smith, and Smith goes across the half-back line for Wiedering, and he kicks to half-back, and here's Louis Young. So 4-point lead for the Blues, 2 minutes to go before half-time. Gone through all the numbers all week. Gives it to Florent, he's kick touched on the way through, spills to Stevens, North back with it. Daniel, hand pass away to Simpkin. Simpkin just retreats back 10 metres to Daniel. Mark was paid, Daniel played on as if it wouldn't be, and that's a longer kick down to left half forward for Stevens. So 10 times since the start of 2024, Carlton have lost leading at half-time. The last 2 years, they ranked top 5 in the competition in terms of the for and against in the first half. The problem is their numbers in the second half have them ranked 15th. Short to McDonald. McDonald from out wide, kicks to full forward. Davies Uniacke flew.
I reckon he took that.
The mark's been claimed by Coleman Jones. The ump says, nope. Didn't have the first touch.
It's come off everyone.
It did, yeah.
And a ball up 15 metres out from the Kangas goal. So Blues by 4 approaching the half.
But we're at full forward here for the Roos. And there's a minute and a bit left on the clock. It'll be a secondary ball up. Pitternet and Coleman Jones. Pitternet just fists it forward, and then they jump on top. There is a heap of players over this. Carlton desperately trying to protect its lead before half-time. A minute and 8 seconds on the clock. Pitnet again. This time soccers it to Florent, just throws it on the boot. He skies it. It's an under, unable to get there in time. Couple of Carlton players. It'll sit here for Daniel. He handballs back, buys a bit of space to Parker. And then to O'Sullivan. Crossing the midfield. He puts it on the right boot. It's a penetrating kick. Another brilliant spoil, this time from Wiedering down to Florent. Darling got there. Kind bounce. Trimbath. Darling. Handballs. Here's a chance. Oh, Wardlaw just paused. And then the smother came in from Smith. And now a 50-50 ball. And Wardlaw's been caught. The umpires want holding the ball. The umpire says no. The crowd wants holding the ball. The umpire says we will ball it up. George Wardlaw.
A bit too slow with his hand to boot.
Didn't have much spatial awareness there. I think he thought someone was more on his hammer than they were. Had a clean look at the goals that he snapped immediately. Simpkin ends up with it, driven into the ground. A dangerous tackle to the umpire. So it's going to go against Elijah Hollins.
Oh, I reckon Simpkins contributed to that.
Oh, yeah.
Blues fans are appealing for holding the ball. Simpkin gets a free himself. He decides to lay it up. Kicks to full forward. They come from all directions. Carroll kills it, punches it through for a rush behind. So that makes it a 3-point game. Baggers on top. 6-4 plays 5-7.
Umpires cannot pay those free kicks when the player contributes to his head hitting the ground, as in the one being tackled, because that will encourage others to do it and they end up in a dangerous position.
Florin out of defence. And that is half-time. And the real game starts with Carlton in front. The Blues 6-4-40. They lead North Melbourne 5-7-37. And the Baggers, it was always going to play out this way, wasn't it? Lead at half-time. A 3-point advantage. The goal kickers, 2 for Kemp, 2 for Pitternet, including the first of the game, 1 for McGovern and 1 for Newman. Meanwhile, for North Melbourne, 5 individual goal kickers. Dersma, Larkey, Curtis, Darlene and Trembath. Interesting numbers when we look at that second quarter. The forward line for North. Zerha didn't touch it. Larkey and Darlene hadn't had a possession until the last few minutes of the quarter, so they were largely inactive, the key guys up front for the Kangas. 3-2 in the term. Carlton by 1 at quarter time. They lead by 3 at the half. We've had 6 lead changes. We've also got this unusual episode in the game where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals have resulted from free kicks and a 50-metre penalty. I'm counting the 50 as a free kick goal. It's got to be a free kick and a 50. So essentially 7 of the 11 goals have been as a result of either free kicks or 50-metre penalties. Half-time, Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. The thoughts of our analyst, the coaching icon Mick Malthouse, and the legendary cat in Cameron Ling.
Corbs, it's a good shout-out because without those free kicks and the 50-metre penalty resulting in the goals, we just wouldn't have any scores.
Yeah.
And the reason is because the kicking has been generally pretty ordinary. Now, the kicking effectiveness percentage, Mick, probably says they're both going okay. But all of that, those numbers, those percentages would be coming from those chip across half-back, where they're all effective kicks. They all add to nice kick, but they're going nowhere. When it's actually been a genuine kick, I mean, needing to go inside forward 50 or break the game open. So both teams have just been sailing those kicks, missing easy targets and breaking down. So without those free kicks, we would have a very low-scoring game. And with the number of possessions that we've had across the game, we've probably got a really low-scoring game anyway. 6-5, given the amount of touches everyone is having.
Yeah.
We're not witnessing two really potent quality teams that can score super efficiently.
No, and everything you said, Ling, is spot on. I'll repeat again, the forward lines are collapsing forward, not back, or go again. The word back means they're helping out in the back. They're going backwards, and that's easy. It's when... How many times have we seen the ball travel from the half-back line and find a target in the forward line? It's been so rare. In fact, I think Newman might have been the only one that's done it and took that mark. So the ball's been held up at, say, 60 metres at both ends of the ground, and it's how you use the football. And unfortunately, both sides are not being able to negate. I guess Larkey's last kick was an intelligent kick that he put it into the goal square when there was no one settled. So in other words, Thursday was able to mark it. Yeah. But outside of that, it's just been lobbed up there and hope that someone marks it. You can't, with good defenders, players can put their fist through it. You're not going to mark it.
So, Mick, you've a number of times identified when the ball's stuck in either team's defensive end, and they do eventually win it back out, and they try and they've got no one to kick to because, as you've said, the forward line's collapsed deep into what is their defence. Is that a structural, intentional thing? Or is that players going, I need to go kick chase? I'm going to go and try and find myself a few possessions because I can't get a touch of the footy.
Well, you coach, under 12 and under 14, you'd be teaching your forward line that under no circumstance do you need, if you have to have 18 players in your back half, you're in your back 50. If you have to have 14, you're starting to be a little bit worried. At least 4 players have got to hold their ground out, but not only hold their ground, they've got to be structured so that when the ball comes out, you can contest anything in the air or on the ground, or left or right. So that's 4. The ideal situation would be to have 5. You don't need more than 13. And that means you've got your ruckman, and probably you've got your wingers down there and your midfielder down there. That's enough in general play. Like if the ball moves really quickly, you're not going to get them down there anyway. But when the ball goes in there and stays in there, what you need, if you've got the weight of numbers, you've got to come out and then deliver that football. But if you are just under that pressure and just bomb it out and all your players are watching it go over their head and it just keeps coming back, it's bad management for a start off. So I'm hoping that both coaches do teach that you've got to have something outside which resembles a structure. So I'm almost backing that it's a bit of a panic by the high forward and the wingers all jumping in there and thinking they can save their game.
And it's been in particular, I think you spoke in the first quarter about it, North Melbourne doing it.
It's horrible.
We see it as you go to the stats here, that players who are getting heaps of the footy, lots of touches, are those half-back wingers who are pushing right deep and are basically being freed up by the fact that they've got heaps and heaps of numbers back there, and then we can get a heap of the footy. So Colby McKercher's had 19 disposals in a half.
Inside 50s, Lee?
Inside 50s for him, 0.
See, I say no more.
Dylan Stevens has had 16. Caleb Daniels had 17. So those three players are wingers or half-backs who are, yes, they're designated kickers, they're nice kickers of the ball, but they're just racking up a heap of touches back there, and it's not really leading to anything. We're not talking about they're getting it at the back of the centre square half-back and then dynamically using the ball through the middle of the ground, and then one kick later it's a mark inside forward 50.
Look, I know you raised it about the game last night, and we don't want to keep harping on that, but Coleman kicked a goal. I'm pretty confident to say he kicked a goal. You got Josh Dacos off the half-back line getting the ball inside front 50. If these blokes are going to keep getting those stats, you want to see them take inside probably around about 15 to 20% of their possessions go inside 50. And you would like to think that 50% of those numbers are marked. And that makes you a really good player.
And throw in the midfielders as well.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're racking up numbers just deep in your defensive 50, that's doing nothing. Occasionally you've got to go back there. But again, last night, and we are comparing them to the best, but that's Will Ashcroft has won 2 Norm Smith medals on the fact that he can get it 25 times, but he can also kick 2 goals and send the ball inside forward 50. 10 of those times he gets it 25. So that's a genuinely good midfield balance.
I haven't got my eyes on, but Sheasel, what's his stats?
Yeah, Sheasel's had it 13 times.
Inside 50?
Inside 50s 2. So
there it is. I rest my case.
Right. But I'm a big score involvements guy. I mean, McKercher 19 disposals, 2 score involvements. Daniel 17, 2. Stevens 16, 2 score involvements. Sheasel 13, 3 score involvements.
Well, let's not just harp on North Melbourne. Let's go to the Carlton side. Carlton aren't much better.
So then Sam Walsh 12, 3 led to scores.
He's only had 1 inside 50. Sam Walsh.
That's my biggest thing about Sam. I think he's a wonderful bloke and wonderful player. He does not get the ball inside 50 anywhere near enough.
So the balance of the Carlton midfield. Walsh has had 1 inside 50. George Hewitt has had 1 inside 50. And Patrick Cripps, the skipper, if you can point him out for me,
hasn't had one.
Hasn't had one. So they're...
he's had one.
So let's call them their 3 premier midfielders.
And Chera?
And have had 3 inside 50s. And Chera has had...
He's probably had more than anyone.
He's had 3 inside 50s himself. So he's the one getting in there. But the other 3 have had 3 between them. That's not a midfield balance you want.
No.
You, again, compare to the best teams. Compare to the teams where these 2 clubs want to be. Their midfielders get the ball through the middle of the ground, yes. They go back and help in defence, yes. But they are also pumping it inside forward 50 on multiple occasions.
Look, I playing with blokes... Well, 100 years ago, as Kel pointed out, or you pointed out, I was coaching back in the 30s. Well, before that, I was playing. So, but I remember one of my great mates, Rob Wiley, said, if I want to get a cheap kick, I go on the back line. It's the easiest place for a midfielder to get a kick is on the back line.
Are you ready for the mascot race here at half-time, which is all part of the Good Friday?
Who are you backing, Corby?
Where's Half-Cat?
I'm going to go with Skeeter. I've got to go with the bomber in the middle there.
Where is Half-Cat, Corbs?
I think Grimace is going to have to lug around a few extra kilos, I think, so that could be a bit of a tough gig. There's also Welby out there and the Latrell Hope mascot. The Pies are off to a great start here. That's Jock. He's the Collingwood mascot. And that's Welby out wide in the purple. And, here we go. Kanga comes flying through. There's a little bit of a melee going on in back play.
Two big birds.
The Bulldog needs to get moving.
Oh, look at this. Welby and the Kanga are going to cross the line together. How's that? It's a dead heat between the Good Friday Appeal mascot and the Kangaroos mascot. You wouldn't read about it.
No.
We won't be seeing that at the Stall Gift on Monday.
People think of this might be like WWE and it's all sort of pre-arranged, but that's just unbelievable. Grimace is still finishing. So Grimace has got a lot of work to do.
He's going to beat Richo home anyway.
He's last of all in the mascot dash. Well done to the Kangas mascot out there, which is appropriately named Kanga, and Welby, who is out there for the Good Friday Appeal. The joint winners of the mascot relay. Second half not too far away. The Blues by 3 points at halftime. Carlton on top again at halftime. Can they hang on to it after the latest from the ABC newsroom and after the halftime break? We're about 5 minutes away from play returning here at Docklands.
ABC News, hello, I'm Satyam Weinstein. The Australian government has responded to US President Donald Trump's announcement of a 100% tariff on pharmaceutical imports. More from business reporter Adelaide Miller.
The Minister for Trade and Tourism has expressed his disappointment in Donald Trump's latest tariff announcement. In a statement to the ABC, a spokesperson for Don Farrell said, "The Albanese government will always stand up for Australian jobs, industry, consumers and values, and continues to make the strongest case for the removal of unjustified and unwarranted tariffs." The US government is critical of Australia's pharmaceutical benefit scheme and that it has created an unfair playing field for America. But Mr Farrell said Labor will never ever negotiate on the design of the PBS.
The federal government is refusing to comment on whether elite forces have been deployed to the Middle East as part of Australia's response to the US-Israel war with Iran. It's been reported more than 90 SAS soldiers are in the region in case the conflict escalates. Health Minister Mark Butler says the government doesn't reveal the whereabouts of personnel to keep them safe.
So I'm not going to comment on the specifics of that report. But what I will say is that we've been very, very clear that Australia's involvement in this area is purely defensive.
US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has asked the US Army's top uniformed officer to step down. No reason's been given for the departure of General Randy George. It's the latest in more than a dozen firings of top generals and admirals in the US Armed Forces amid a purge by the Trump administration. US President Donald Trump has sacked Pam Bondi as Attorney General. The BBC's Ione Wells has more from Washington, D.C.
You might think, reading Donald Trump and Pam Bondi's statements on her firing, that nothing had been wrong. Mr. Trump said she was a loyal friend and a patriot and had done a tremendous job cracking down on crime. She said she was thrilled to be moving to a new role. But behind the scenes, there had been growing frustration at her handling of the Epstein files, which had become a political liability for the Trump administration. There were also concerns about her performance and communication style when appearing at congressional hearings. Ms. Bondi will be replaced temporarily by her deputy, Todd Blanche, who was formerly Trump's personal lawyer.
Independent MP Kate Cheney says she'll push the federal government to go further in its crackdown on gambling. The government has announced plans to cap the number of gambling advertisements on daytime television and to ban ads on sports jerseys and online platforms for under 18s. Ms. Cheney says a major 2023 parliamentary report also recommended a national online gambling regulator to be established.
There is no national regulator, so we have a lowest common denominator approach to regulation, with the Northern Territory being the de facto national regulator. There are loads of other recommendations in there too that I really would like to see the government take up. This has to be the start, not the end of gambling reform.
The peak body for hospitality industry in Western Australia says new laws around the sale of alcohol on Good Friday bring the state in line with the rest of the world. Restrictions on the sale of alcohol by pubs and hotels on today's public holiday have been eased, so patrons can buy a drink without having to buy food as well. Australian Hotels Association State Chief Executive Bradley Woods said the previous rules were too restrictive.
Previously, under the old restrictions in pubs and bars, people who wanted to have just a drink on its own would have to also purchase a full meal to be able to purchase a drink. Now, with these changes, we're up to date with the rest of the world, and nearly every state in Australia has the same rules.
Thousands of people have attended church services marking Good Friday across the nation. Joshua McIntosh reports.
Services have taken place at churches across the country as Christians commemorate the death of Jesus Christ. More than 200 people attended St Patrick's Cathedral in Parramatta, reflecting on the theme of unity.
With so much division in the world right now, it's wonderful to see communities getting together.
Lovely seeing everyone in the community coming together as one.
Meanwhile, in Darwin, Bishop Charles Gauci sent a message of hope to locals impacted by recent flooding.
You're not alone. We love you, we care for you, and we'll walk with you throughout this.
Eastern Orthodox communities mark Good Friday next week.
St Kilda forward Lance Collard will front an AFL disciplinary tribunal hearing next week after allegedly using a homophobic slur during a VFL match. The allegation stems from a heated exchange in last week's match against Frankston and comes less than 2 years after Collard served a 6-match ban for the same offence. You're up to date with the very latest from ABC News.
Get your footy fix with ABC AFL Daily Podcast. Corbin Middlemass and Ben Cameron are joined by a cast of AFL legends to pull apart the biggest stories in Aussie rules. Search for the ABC AFL Daily Podcast on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
That's not a good kick. It wobbles to the goal line. And Trembath marks right in front of the goal umpire. He's in the middle of the goal face and marks a helicopter on his chest. How was that allowed to happen? Somehow nobody touched it. Through to Trembath. And the easiest goal he'll ever kick. Slams it up into the top deck.
He sees something he likes in the left forward pocket. Backing gang. And taking the mark was Nick Newman, a long way from home. First game back, Nick Newman, in more than 573 days it's been. He's 40 metres out on his left. He turns to the crowd and he's up Nick Newman, and he's a popular team member, and they flood in from everywhere and they do the stacks on.
Chera, he kicks to full forward. Kemp gets another look at it. One-on-one with McDonald. Kemp becomes tackler. McDonald caught. Ball trickles through. Holding the ball. The late whistle goes the way of Brodie Kemp. McDonald took possession. Had to try and have an exit strategy. He didn't. Was caught. Kemp is given a gift in the goal square. It's proven to be the score source of the day. Another goal from a free kick. Kemp pops it through from point-blank range.
So Larky, who got a heavy knock in that first term, kicked the 1 goal so far. He's just going to lay it up to the goal square. Oh, Dersma floats across the pack. His long locks floating in the air with the headband. And he has taken a Good Friday special. So Zane Dersma from directly in front. He won't miss from here, and he doesn't. After 3 in a row to the Blues. They hit back the Kangaroos.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Sounds there from an interesting first half of footy. The keynote to take out of it is that Carlton are in front. They've just been in at the halftime break. Have they learnt their lessons? As they're about to come back out, they have given up a halftime lead on 10 occasions since the start of 2024. Of course, most notably last week against the D's. They don't quite have the same advantage they're protecting today. It's just 3 points the difference in the Good Friday Super Clash. Carlton 6-4-40. They lead North Melbourne 5-7-37. This is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. Corbin Middlemass, Kelly Underwood, Mick Moldhouse, Cameron Ling and Tim Hodges, your call team. The VFL, don't forget the VFL is available on ABC TV. Werribee and Geelong at Avalon Airport Oval is our broadcast game this week. So on air from 12 noon. That's Australian Eastern Daylight Time. You can catch the call on ABC TV in Victoria. Alternatively, if you're not in Victoria and you want to listen, you can do so anywhere around the country on iView. iView is also the place you can catch up on any occasion as well. So if you can't watch it live at 12 noon, you can watch it at any time. Werribee and Geelong, our broadcast game. If you're trying to watch it live from another market, just search for the Victoria TV stream and you'll be able to get it there. There's also audio commentary available, which you can find through the ABC Sport Extra button on ABC Listen. Werribee and Geelong, our broadcast game. The feel-good story of the year has been the Tasmania Devils. Of course, the Devils about to enter the AFL for the first time. They have re-entered the VFL. And after winning their first 2 games, they lead by 77 points over Frankston in Game 3. So the Devils about to go 3-0 to start the new VFL season.
Wow. They're going to have... They'll announce their new AFL coach by the end of the year, won't they?
That's what they tell us.
Yep.
You got any ideas?
A few good candidates out there.
Who would, if you were Brendan Gale, who would be your first phone call?
Right. John Longmire or Ken Hinckley?
Okay. I like it. What about you, Lingy?
I'm a little biased, of course.
Yep.
I think Ken Hinckley would be just the perfect person to... Because you're not only building a new team you're part of with Brendan Gale, building a new club, a new environment, a new family.
Yeah.
Just quickly on the NRL, there's one game on at the moment, the traditional Good Friday game, Rabbitohs Bulldogs. 27 minutes in, Rabbits 12. They lead the Bulldogs 6. Storm are on tonight. They play the Panthers.
Who would you pick, Mick? You can't say yourself.
Let's see if Carlton can get over the second half Blues. Carlton by 3 points.
Get your answer at the end of the game.
Dodged it well.
Sheasel to O'Sullivan. Here go the Roos. Inside 50 to start the third. That's a great mark by Cowan, playing in front of Zerha. Gee, there's a few tattoos between those two players. Strong start for Lockie Cowan in this second half. Blues by 3 points. They led by 1 at quarter time. Short to Chera. This has been stop-start footy.
Cripps v. Sheasel, you just kick it there. Stop mucking around.
So Chera instead goes to Mackay, who's got Comben. Davies Uniac to Parker. Comben tackled, scuffs the kick. Here's a chance for Francis Evans. Not sure what he was trying to do with that handball. It opened the door for Simpson to come in. Was he taken high? No. It'll be a ball up. Just inside 50 here for the Blues. Pitnet tangles with Coleman Jones. On all fours. Davies Uniac just jumped on it and Cripps jumps on him. The 2 number 9s.
They paid it against Davies Uniac.
He did jump on it.
Yeah, but
he got hit early.
In the process of jumping on it, he got smashed in the head. It's still got to be a legally executed tackle.
Yeah, you can't be a jockey.
No.
So the 2 number 9s, Davies Uniac on the bottom. Cripps on top of him, wins the free kick for holding. And he'll have a set shot, 45-degree angle. We're right behind him in the commentary box on level 3 under the closed roof here at Docklands to extend the Blues lead to 9, to kick the first goal of the second half. From right on 50, he's going to hang it out to the right. It won't have the distance. It'll land in. Here's a chance for the Roos. McKercher haven't got out of trouble yet. Sheasel picked the footy up and then he's tackled. And it'll be a ball up. Left forward pocket here for the Blues, still pressing.
Well done by Sheasel. He knew the tackle was coming. He just had to hold on to that footy. That's not a nice situation to be in.
Pitternet palms it down. O'Sullivan trying to get a clear and kick away. Spills back into the Blues' hands. Chera gives it over to Cripps. He kicks to full forward. Comben collides in the air with the pack. Ball spills out to his direct opponent. And Mackay hooks it through for the goal. And there's the second half tone setter for the Blues. Their lead extends out to 9 points. 7-4-46. North Melbourne 5-7-37. 2.5 gone in the third.
Unfortunate for Comben then, Mick, because he was the one who had to make the big
decision.
Contest,
yeah.
And he was brave and he went. Unfortunately for him, it just fell straight to Harry Mackay, his opponent.
Harry, you just get this thing about Harry that he just... I mean, it was a good goal because it fell to him and he had to balk around, get it onto his left foot. But for a bloke who a couple of years ago with Curnow was dominating the forward line, he just doesn't assert himself these days. He's big, he's strong, you look up, you see him, but the effort sort of doesn't match it.
Coleman Jones charging through. Davies Uniac with intent, read it off his hands. Now to Daniel by hand, goes to Sheasel, kicks it inside 50. Who's the target down there? Dersma. It was Zerha. Larky missed it. Hollands had it. Elijah gives it to Frankie Evans, who kicks it out of bounds on the full. Free kick for the Roos. Daniel's got it. He's had plenty of possessions. Caleb Daniel this afternoon goes short to O'Sullivan. Right. Sneaking on the edge, just inside the boundary there where the 50 meets the boundary is Simpkin. His eyes are darting. Won't have a shot from there. He's too far out. He's just going to centre it. Asked them to run and launch. Zerha did that. Trembath was there. Stevens at the back grabbed him, and then he's been collected by Hollins. That's Elijah. And it'll be tossed in the air 25 metres out from the Roos goal this time.
Kicking to the Coventry end in this third quarter. One down by the Roos into the path of Sheesley. Gives it to Stevens. Feints to hand pass and then decides to kick it himself to full forward. Off the pack. Spills down towards Young. He didn't release it. Oh, that's a favourable call. The umpire says ball up.
Yeah, he could have been pinged for that call.
Yeah.
You're right.
Forgiving umpire, tosses it in the air. Wiedering knocks it away for the Blues. Last line of defence, Ollie Hollins. Hand pass away to Evans. Tumbles a kick, can't clear defensive 50. Simpkin just kicks a skied ball back inside the corridor. Allowed to pitch in the end. Florent knocks it to centre half back. Power went without it. Here's Mackay outside the defensive 50. Gives it away to Hayward. He kicks laterally and finds Ainsworth against the boundary line. So he's on the city wing. He's going to come back across the ground for Hewitt. Blues by 9 points. They've kicked the first goal in the third. Trying to put their second half woes behind them. Short kick to Florent.
And North Melbourne have had some chances already this quarter. They're up to over 200 disposals now, North Melbourne. So they're going at nearly over 40 disposals per goal.
Yeah.
That's not at all where you want to be.
Newman, Ollie Hollins, and now Evans, all the short kicking game. Evans marks in front of the benches on the dock side.
He's got Young. Marks right in front of the Roos bench. Louis Young. In two minds. Taking his allocated time. He's just going to pop it up to a one-on-one. Target was McGovern. McGovern's given away a free kick. Pink was the other player. So end-to-end for not much reward to start this second half as Toby Pink spins the Sherrin in his hands. He kicks up to the broadcast wing. Trembath is there. So too Young. They both go to ground in a wrestle. Trying to keep it in, but Hollins happy to see it over. Oliver Hollins.
Just to back up my point, you're looking at anywhere between 24 to 28 disposals per goal. So if you have 380 odd disposals and you kick 15 goals, that's landing at around about the 25 disposals per goal. As I said, North Melbourne at 40 disposals per goal, so just zero efficiency, really.
It is. The thing that gets me, Lingy, is the speed of the ball is so negligible at the moment. It's not moving quickly. They're not moving the ball. Both sides. I'm talking about both sides here. I'm not finding the space wide where they can then make the defence move across and have to be reshuffled.
Cripps on the wing, gives it to Florent. Hand pass to Ollie Hollins. He sends the ball down to Evans at half forward, but covering across, Simpkin knocks it out of play. So a throw in half forward for the Blues. Tim Hodges on the boundary.
Just been watching Jacob Wiedering. He is no good out there with that ankle injury from the marking contest before, and he was waving to the doctor to try and get their attention to say, I've got to come off. So off he's come, and he's in the hands of the doctor and the physio now.
Thanks, Hodgie, from the boundary throw-in. The ruck shared it down. Wardlaw's kick smothered by Pitternet. Hurried kick forward. Banch tries to extract it under the pressure of Ollie Hollins. Handball ended up with Wardlaw. He coughs it up. Smith to Florent by hand. He gives it to Cowan. Tumbles a kick to half forward. He's Cripps. Little fortuitous. Lands on his lap. 60 metres out. Turns. Kicks in the direction of Mackay. He's got to go. Crashes the pack from the side. Ball slips down. Stevens didn't want it. Elijah Hollins did. Goes and gets it. Snaps and goals. That is all will and walk two from Elijah Hollins. And Carlton's lead is out to a game-high 15 points. 8 minutes gone in the third term. The Blues kicked the first two after half-time. 8-4-52, North Melbourne 5-7-37. This is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Great call, Corbs. Brilliant call. And the most important phrase of that whole call that you just did was Dylan Stevens did not want it. You have to stand over the ball there. I'm not saying it's easy. It's a really difficult situation. People are closing in, but you're the support winger. You have to stand over that footy and either win it or make it a ball up. You cannot cough it up like that and just gifted Carlton a goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Nick, are they the ones that got you extra grumpy in the box?
No, a few more grey hairs. If you can have any more.
So the first two goals going the Blues' way in this second half, and they've extended their lead out to 15 points. It is a game high. Secondary ball up in the centre. Smith with the toe poke. McGovern playing in front. Takes the mark in front of Luke McDonald. He's still got it inside the centre square. Goes out wide and miscommunication with Cripps, who's still limping out there with that left knee heavily strapped. The kick from Powell's been smothered. Boyd was involved in that smother, and now it comes back to Daniels. For the Roos, goes down the line. Curtis flew in from the side, Dersma the other. His handball goes to no one in particular. Smith's got a Cowan also in there. Comes out to Jagger Smith. Bursts away from the other players. Kicks to the paint. Couldn't take the mark down there. Fighting and Kemp scrapping, and it doesn't fire out. And eventually it'll be a ball up. Heap of players around that as they're creeping closer to goal, the Blues. It's 40 metres out. It'll be balled up, tossed up in front of the Blues goal.
Pitterhead palms it down to Hewitt. He's tackled. Says play on. Gives him a moment to work it out. And now says holding the ball. Hewitt caught. Free kick Daniels, centre half back for the Roos. Tim Hodges on the boundary. Hodgie.
Just an update on Jacob Wiedering, Corbin. It's a left corky to the calf. He's had it heavily strapped, and they've said go and sit on the spin bike and try and just get it moving. So he's in a hell of a lot of pain. So it's going to be a challenge to get back out there.
Thanks, Hodgie. Good watch. Obviously the ribs, didn't he, out of Origin, and yet has played 49 consecutive games, Jacob Wiedering. So always finds a way to get up for next week, even despite the fact he's been in the wars, even in this young season. As the Roos working down the wing eventually, offhand slides to Larkey, hand pass inside to Wardlaw, under pressure, got it back to McKercher, needs to be precise, and is to Dersma. There's all of those top 5 picks combining in the same chain. They've got 7 top 5 picks out there today. They've got 5 others that were taken between 6 and 20.
It's enough.
12 guys, top 20 in the draft.
Well, that's enough to have a really good football side.
Absolutely, it is.
If you pick well, that's all you need.
We've got 4 more that are on the list but not playing today, so 16 top 20 picks in total. Here's Dersma, who's had a bright start to the young season. He misses near side of behind. North Melbourne's first score after half-time. Carlton have kicked the first 2 goals, so that'll help with a few of those nightmares that the Blues would have been experiencing after coughing up 88 points after half-time last week. Leads 14, Carlton on top, 11 minutes gone in the third.
Boyd by foot to Florent, by foot to the wing, clears the pack, waiting at the back, Pink grabs it. Walsh has grabbed him, and Walsh
50.
wins.
Yeah, that's 50.
Yes, and it is 50. It didn't get handed back to Sam Walsh, and that'll drag him within range. Combin's in there.
What was he thinking there?
Again, he wasn't. The concentration factor. Combin just went to place it on the ground so he could then run and get back and defend. But
you can't
do it. The moment you do that, it's a clear 50.
Wiedering on the bench with a corky. He's on the bike. Cripps is down there on the bench as well, having a breather, and he's certainly carrying a knee injury. So Walsh, the leader, can he stand up? 45-degree angle, 45 metres out. And it's 3 in a row to start this second half, and a game-high lead of 20 points to the Blues. 9-4-58 to North Melbourne, 5-8-38. Let's get down to Hodgie on the boundary. What's the latest with Wiedering, Hodgie?
Well, he's back out there. Just, Lingy, have a look at Jacob Wiedering. So he's in the middle. He was going to run down to Sam Walsh. He thought, I can't go right now. He is struggling just to walk back to the back line for Carlton. So we think it's a corky to the calf, the left calf, and it's been heavily strapped. He's sat on the bike and really couldn't get going there. He's just trying to get into a trot now. So, yeah, he's going to be a watch. Like, if you're Nick Larkey, surely you have to be running him around right now.
Absolutely, and the more serious consequence possibly could be a cork calf can lead to a torn calf in a hurry.
Jagger Smith out of the middle, runs away with it, but he's caught. Run down holding the ball, Wardlaw with the tackle, and then he's given a shove for his troubles by Chera, wasn't 50. Saw vision too, by the way, of the Blues in a tight huddle before they ran out to start the third quarter, as they were all sort of brought in and had a little come-to-Jesus moment before the quarter started, and now there's going to be a downfield free as Wardlaw disposed of the footy.
Yeah, it's a stomach punch. I reckon Hayward, was it? Yeah, Will Hayward, as he came across to put pressure on. I don't think it was late, so it wasn't a downfield because it was late. I reckon it's downfield because he's punched him in the stomach.
Right, so it was a swinging arm to the midriff, there we go, from Hayward on Wardlaw. Just on that address, by the way, the Blues got. I'll just wait on this kick for Nick Larkey, who moves in, and the Roos need an answer. Their captain provides it. Just to hold some early momentum in the third. It was headed Carlton's way. And the skipper joins in the party. Larkey with his second. 9-4-58 Carlton. North Melbourne 6-8-44. 14 points Carlton's lead. 14 minutes gone in the third. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport, and the intensity's lifted. A bit of push and shove on. It was Travis Boak who actually addressed the group before they ran out. He's their leadership council or leader. And so he actually brought the group in and trying something different, the Blues. They got the first three, but the Roos answer here.
Yeah, and the disappointing thing for Carlton point of view would be a cheap 50 metre which turns into become a cheap goal. And that's the last thing they need, because now a little bit of doubt will start to set in.
They just got the momentum. They kicked 6 of the last 7, the Blues, and Hayward's given away a 50 and a goal to the Roos to get them back into it. Walsh, inspired, burning out of the centre, gives it over to Kemp. Kemp snaps a goal. No, close. 2 possessions it was out of the centre. The snap by Kemp went all the way to the line and just missed. Blues by 15.
Gee, this game's got up a notch. It's coming from a low base, must be said, at half time, as McKercher goes on a stroll and kicks to half back and finds O'Sullivan. And I felt like we got right to the point where the Blues threatened to pull the game away from North Melbourne, and the Roos answering with the last. So 15 points. O'Sullivan to Sheasel.
It's got to go up a notch, Corbs, because North Melbourne are at risk of losing this game against a pretty ordinary Carlton team. And Carlton, they've just got to find a way to win from this position, given everything that's gone on.
Contest kick down the wing. Trembath hand pass to Zerha, high up and under the half forward, but Dirksen is there to cut it off. The 24-year-old on debut kicks in the middle of the ground, finds Florent. Florent hangs it out, looking to handball, and in the end decides to kick laterally. Away towards Ollie Hollins, who's running the wing city side. Kicks down to half forward. Comben back pedaling. Mackay competes in the air. Spills to Carroll. Had it knocked out of his hand by Comben, who's on his backside. Gets up, goes and wins the footy. Great work, Comben. Hands it away to O'Sullivan. Kicks in the middle of the ground for Wardlaw. And the Kangas are out through the middle of Docklands.
What's he got inside 50? One out. A chance for Darling. It was Wiedering with the spoil. The spoil lands in the lap of Florent. He's tackled over the turf. Then Hollins is tackled to the ground. Big ball to be won here inside 50 for the Roos. And it's held up. They jump on top of each other. Tangle of arms and legs. It certainly has gone up a gear. It's cranked from first gear to about third, I reckon, Corbin. Still got a few more gears to go.
I reckon you can see that North Melbourne feel that they can get back in the game because of what's happened in the past. I think, and Carlton on the other side, they're trying to win every contest. And I think that's the way they've got to do it. Don't worry about what happens, as Lingy said. It's no use worrying about the last contest, but worry about the contest right now.
So it's a mental game.
Is it ever?
Nick Moldhouse. Young Zerha charging through, trying to create something. He's tackled by Young. Umpire says holding the ball. It was by George Hewitt, rather. And Hewitt wins the free in the back pocket here for the Blues. They had kicked 6 of the last 7. And then a Hayward strike to the belly of George Wardlaw resulted in a free kick to Larkey down the field. He kicked the goal, and it's back to 15 points. Blues with possession right now.
Elijah Hollins goes laterally to Dirksen. 24-year-old originally from the NT. He was playing in the summer months down in the south, up in the wet season up north for Nightcliff, and thinking his AFL dream was over after 4 years on the Giants list, and here he is debuting in round 4 for the Blues. He goes short to Ollie Hollins, switches on, back to Wiedering. Wiedering from one back flank to the other for Boyd. He pokes the kick down the wing. This is Ollie Hollins. He chips it further afield, finds Byrne, the youngest player on the ground, the 18-year-old. Back to Ollie Hollins. Short kick to Boyd, and Carlton just possessing the footy through the middle of Docklands. Chips it to Ainsworth.
Very crowded. Really, really crowded.
That kick's not 15 to Jagger Smith, and he turns and goes with a long kick out wide for Ollie Hollins, trying to chip their way through it, work their way through the maze. Back to Byrne, 60 metres out, looks for Mackay, takes the juggle grab on the lead. And Harry Mackay has a big-time drop punt in front of him. Right half forward, he'll look from about 35-40 out.
Nice patience by Carlton with
Very
the ball
good.
use, and took it forward when they had the opening to do so. Pretty average by North Melbourne. A lot of players just sitting back saying, hey, I'm here kind of defending. A lot of guarding grass rather than going, hey, what's the dangerous space? What's being opened up right now? Who's an opponent who might get the footy?
So it's a rare mark inside 50 for the Blues. To finish it off, Mackay misses. Out to the right of behind. Just his 6th disposal of the day. He's got 1 goal and he leaves 1 out there on the set shot. 16-point lead for the Blues. Approaching time on in this 3rd quarter.
Well, they're the things that you have to be able to control because you have got the football in your hands. You're on your left-hand side. It's all for you and your time on the ground.
Yep. Execute.
It's absolutely. So that's the first sign of mentally not being able to cope with it.
Lamize has got the ball in his hand. They worked it by foot. Couple of quick, short, sharp, working the angle, then up towards the pack. Trembath waiting at the back is Darling. Larky's in a mountain of space. He could go into goal. Instead, he gives it to Dersma. It hits the post. For the first time today, we nearly saw coast-to-coast football. We nearly saw free-flowing, end-to-end football. And Dersma went the banana at the top of the goal square and it smacked into the post.
Well, that came about because Larky dropped an easy hand pass and couldn't get the ball in his hands quick enough. Then he had to give it off because he wouldn't be able to get a kick in.
Boyd goes on a trot, short kick away to Carroll, and he retreats in the defensive 50 to Ollie Hollins.
Well, $1 million putt, no one near him.
Should kick to Wiedering. Wiedering hands it back to Carroll, who's again running off half-back in characteristic fashion, kicks down the wing. Half-volley pick-up tough for Ollie Hollins, cleans it up. Got it to Chera, got it back. Still with Elijah Hollins. Turns, kicks inside the forward 50. Ainsworth running downhill, takes the mark at left half-forward. And it feels like, given the events of the week, we're watching so much of this game through the lens of the Blues, understandably, and yet for North Melbourne, they've won 1 of the 8 editions of this game. They're playing an opponent today that's there to be had, if they're good enough.
On their knees, really. On their knees.
So there's plenty in it for the Roos too, down 15. A real test of their legitimacy, North Melbourne today. Ainsworth to put it out to a new game high. His drop punt misses near side. So behinds at either end. 16 points, Carlton's lead. 22 minutes gone, 3rd term. This is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport, and it's just the start. Still to come tonight, Adelaide and Fremantle. Second leg of the Good Friday doubleheader.
Luke Parker kicks into O'Sullivan.
So many North Melbourne players just load up behind the ball, trying
looking
to
for
get
cheap kicks.
Got it to Blamise. Handballs over to McDonald. Handballs over to Coleman Jones. Back to McDonald. Little burst of speed, and then he just wedges the kick to centre half forward. Nice mark taken by Sheasel. Can they go end to end this time? Powell out to Dersma, who marks uncontested. He thought
he's
about
off.
playing on.
Umpire, you've read it wrong, umpire.
Oh no, Dersma took off, and as a result, Louis Young stepped over the line of the mark, and he's pinged him for 50. Blues fans will be irate. In the meantime, Zane Dersma's booted his 2nd from the goal square. It was a gift, and it's back to 10 points. 9-7-61 Carlton, North Melbourne 7-9-51. The Blues led by as much as 20. It was a game-high lead earlier in this quarter with 4 minutes to play in the 3rd term, and a gimme, an umpire error going the way of the Roos, and it's back to 10 points.
Now, he should have kicked the goal anyway, Dersma, whether he gets a 50 or not. But the umpire, so what Dersma's done is faked the handball. He was going to give it to Larky. If that was up the ground, Mick, then the umpire has to say, no, you can't be drawn off the stand mark by a fake handball.
Yeah.
The other argument could be that Dersma actually played on.
Well, it should have been called play on.
Called play on, and therefore Young can tackle him.
Yeah.
He didn't move his feet, Dersma.
3rd goal from a 50-metre penalty today, plus we've had a downfield free kick resulted in a goal. It's an incredible score source in the amount that have come from free kicks and 50-metre penalties today. As the Roos quickly get it out of the middle, but Elijah Hollins picks it off.
He's been pretty good, Hollins.
He's had a big quarter. It's his sixth disposal. His brother Ollie has had 10. He's about to have 11 as the kick found Young, and he goes short to Ollie Hollands, who's got it at right half back. Two leading the way in the quarter. Most disposals for the Blues. Just 10 points the lead for Carlton. 24 gone in the third. Long kick down the wing. Free kick from Mackay. And a shoulder draped. Well, had an arm draped over his shoulder. My apologies. Mackay on the wing.
Cripps one-on-one with Wardlaw. Instead they go short.
Goes short and to a dangerous option. Couldn't link up with Hewitt. Davies Uniacke got it to Powell. He's tackled. Spills to Boyd. Is there a free kick in all of this? It is. It's coming back to the tackler. He's going to be rewarded Chera and locked up Powell in the middle of the ground.
Cripps still wants it one-on-one with Wardlaw. I would back Cripps in every day of the week on him.
Chera decides to kick it in that direction. In front of him, leaping for it, McGovern. Coleman Jones knocks it to the boundary line. It's paddled straight out by Stevens, and the umpire says a push in the back.
But sorry, just quickly, that kick was going to Cripps. It was well identified. Instead, McGovern took his opponent over there.
Yeah, just no smarts.
Instead of letting Cripps have the one-on-one.
One-on-one with a guy who's maybe 10, 12 centimetres shorter.
Trembath played for a carefree kick. He wanted the push in the back, and he's going to get it.
There's a lot of undisciplined play, which is
so many free kicks.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is a strange game.
A lot of frees to result in goals. It's not free-flowing. So Trembath kicks up to half-forward. Wardlaw gives it off to Zerha. High ball, Curtis. One out with Newman. Spoil from Newman was good. Powell, though, gets the handball over to Curtis. Powell gets it again. He's kicked it over the head of his teammate. The Blues with the numbers, although McDonald bearing down. And he knocks it over the boundary. Deliberate.
My goodness.
Deliberate. No.
Oh, it's come off McDonald and Evans at the same time.
So he said it's McDonald's ball. I thought he was saying deliberate for McDonald, who came through and paddled it over.
Yeah.
But instead it was McDonald that won the free, widling it.
He's paid it against Evans for insufficient intent, but it was just wrong. They both made contact.
Lemires to the top of the goal square. Big pack. Powell on his left. And up and under. Coming in with Stevens. He went hard. He gets the handball back from Wardlaw. He's on his non-preferred right. Chance here. Coleman Jones, but standing his ground was Wiedering in front, and he kicks sideways to Elijah Hollands. Handball missed the mark from Newman running past. Newman stabs it, and Chera marks uncontested. He's got it defensive side of the dock side wing, the Blues. They lead by 10 points. They led by as much as 20. Last two goals going to the Roos.
Oh, gee, that's an one with the lot. He kicks down the wing as it rolls its way away towards Hewitt for Carlton. Got it away towards Evans. Handball to Haywood. Handball back to Elijah Hollands. Clever kick. Back on the 45 to Ainsworth. 60 metres out. Carlton going inside 50. Kicks long. Mackay down there. Going early. No mark. Ball hits the deck. Comes out the back. North's way. Tackled with it. The Roos on the bottom of the pack. The umpire circles and says, I'll have it. It's Simpkin in the back pocket. He's taken down and a ball up deep forward for the Blues.
And this is this forward-line structure we're talking about. North have got 3 out up the back 50, so if it comes out quickly, good luck.
Cripps tries to bull his way through, and he goes again as he got it in time. Smith! Jagger Smith! His second goal in AFL footy, and Jagger, he's certainly got the moves there. He made sure that his skipper was able to get the goal through. Cripps with the little toe poke, the dribbler. And Smith scooped and was able to clean it up and back out by 16 points, the Blues. 10-7-67, North 7-9-51 in the final minute before three-quarter time.
I liked it, Cal. I loved it.
Had to be done at some point, didn't it?
Well done.
Well, his first goal in AFL footy was a set shot at the MCG. But he really did have to have the moves, and Scurry's got that low centre of gravity, doesn't he?
He looks good. He looks really good. Paddy Cripps wanted to make that ball his own there. He's the one who created the spill for Jagger Smith, but he's a clever young player.
He is. Now, see, the Carlton wingers are going right back to protect. I like that move.
Cripps, hurried kick forward. Ainsworth off the square. Gives it away to Hewitt. Carlton going forward again. Mackay leaping outnumbered, but takes a pack mark. Harry Mackay. He had 2 to beat in the air, and he does it with Pink and Comben to contend with. And now for the finish, Harry Mackay.
Terrific grab, Harry Mackay. That is a quality contested mark. Now, he's already missed one this quarter as the three-quarter time siren sounds. He simply must go back and nail this for his team, for their belief, for everything they've been through for the week after capitulating last week. Go back and kick the goal. Do your job.
To end the quarter on an upswing, Harry Mackay! Goals! And every Carlton player on the ground rushes to him. It's a game-high lead at three-quarter time for the Blue Daggers as they try to bury the nightmares of the past. Carlton by 22, 11-7-73. North Melbourne 7-9-51. And that is a big-time mark and goal from your key forward precisely when it's required. 22 points the Baggers lead over North Melbourne in the Good Friday Super Clash. The goal kickers through 3. Harry Mackay has got 2. 2 also for Kemp and for Pitternet, and now singles for Jagger Smith, Mitch McGovern, Sam Walsh, Elijah Hollins and Nick Newman. Meanwhile for North Melbourne, 2 in the book for Dersma and for Larkey, and then singles for Curtis Darling and for Trembath. 22 points the Blues lead at three-quarter time. Tim Hodges on the boundary.
Corbin, I've never seen this. Jacob Wiedering just sort of got the eye of Michael Voss and said, I'm going to have to go to the spin bike. So he's right beside me at the moment on the spin bike, just keeping that corked calf warm while the rest of his team are in the three-quarter time huddle. So whether he goes over for the address, I'm not sure, but right now I think he's more worried about making sure that leg's as warm as it can be to get through the final term.
I don't think he has to worry too much about what the coach is going to say, in all honesty, because I reckon he'd know he would be their leader down there.
Yep.
That's the only difference, is that someone else from the back line's going to have to jump up, because he's got to stay there. He's got to keep warm to play the game out.
Wouldn't bother you if Presty or Jacko were sitting on the bike at three-quarter time?
Well, the only worry would be that they're injured.
Yeah.
That's the only... No.
Glenn
Jakovic did what he wanted anyway, didn't he?
Well, he'd tell you that. Jack would tell you. Preston would only tell me after 4 or 5 beers, so it wouldn't come through match days.
All right, fascinating way that this game is set up. So Carlton by 22 a game high. They got one more quarter to navigate in the Good Friday Super Clash. And what about North? It's their biggest fixture on the home and away calendar, their marquee game. They've won it only once in now 9 editions. Can they do something about it with a quarter to go? This is Good Friday Footy on ABC Sport.
ABC Radio is part of your community, telling local stories that matter to you. So for local news, sport, and to find out what's happening in your community, stay tuned right here on your radio and on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Chera gives it over to Cripps. He kicks to full forward. Comben collides in the air with the pack. Ball spills out to his direct opponent. And Mackay hooks it through for the goal. And there's the second half tone setter for the Blues. Kicks in the direction of Mackay. He's got to go. Crashes the pack from the side. Ball slips down. Stevens didn't want it. Elijah Hollins did. Goes and gets it. Snaps and goal. That is all will and want to from Elijah Hollins. And Carlton's lead is out to a game-high 15 points.
Waiting at the back, Pink grabs it. Walsh has grabbed him. Walsh wins.
Yeah, that's 50.
Yes, and it is 50. It didn't get handed back to Sam Walsh, and that'll drag him within range. So Walsh, the leader, can he stand up? 45-degree angle, 45 metres out. And it's 3 in a row.
Nick Larkey, who moves in, and the Roos need an answer. Their captain provides it. Just to hold some early momentum in the third that was headed Carlton's way. And the skipper joins in the party. Larkey with his second.
This time out to Dersma, who marks uncontested. He thought about playing on.
Umpire, you've read it wrong, umpire.
Oh no, Dersma took off, and as a result, Louis Young stepped over the line of the mark, and he's pinged him for 50. Blues fans will be irate. In the meantime, Zane Dersma's booted his second from the goal square. It was a gift. Cripps tries to pull his way through, and he goes again. Has he got it in time? Smith! Jagger Smith! His second goal in AFL footy, and Jagger, he's certainly got the moves there.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Blues by a game high 22. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. It's only the first leg still to come. Adelaide and Fremantle at Adelaide Oval. Aaron Bryans heading up the call as...
Corby cannot wait for this one here at the Adelaide Oval. A real litmus test for the Adelaide Crows and the Fremantle Dockers. Both would feel like they're finals contenders, but have had indifferent starts to the year. The Adelaide Crows 1 and 2, their close losses to the Dogs and the Cats. Totally down to perspective. You could say, look, it was brilliant. They got as close as they did away from home. Others might say, they were pretty uncompetitive in terms of the stats. So tonight they can really showcase what they have to offer as the minor premiers on their home deck under the Friday night lights. And for the Dockers, they've always felt like perennial top 4 favourites and never really got there. They've belted the cellar dwellers over the last fortnight, and maybe tonight they can really make a statement and knock off one of their fellow contenders on the road. Adelaide and Fremantle coming your way next. Some big inclusions with Taylor Walker and Jordan Dawson back for the Crows. Riley O'Brien there as well. And Fremantle unchanged for the first time away from home in 2 years. We'll have our premiership players, Rod Jamieson and Ebony Marinoff here, Tom Wilson to call the action alongside me as well. Corbin cannot wait for the Crows and the Dockers next on ABC Sport.
No rain as?
No, it is looking pretty nice out here. The sun's out, a little bit overcast, but I think we'll be okay.
Good news, thank you. So Aaron Bryans heading up the call. It's our next stop, Adelaide and Fremantle. A double header on Good Friday. And the Good Friday Super Clash is just getting good here under the roof at Docklands. Carlton by 22 points. Weaving the thoughts of Mick Malthouse and Cameron Ling as we go. Final term underway. Can the Blues hang on? The Kangas trying to do something about it. And Davies Uniacke with the first centre break. Goes darting away. Kicks inside 50. Dersma almost hit his head on the roof. Ball spills down to Larkey. Pokes it short. Then Trimbath heading up out of the goal square marks. And North Melbourne get the first look at goal.
Wiedering? Yeah, he's out cold.
That was awful. It was an amazing effort from Dersma, the fly, which is such an exciting part of our game. But sometimes, unfortunately, the accident is what is happening underneath, just on the replay. Dersma, knee straight in the back of the head.
Yeah, he's just slowly moving now. But there is a physio out there that's holding something to the back, a towel to the back of his head. So he's clearly cut his head. Straight away, 6 or 7 Blues players headed over there and turned to the bench. So he's in a world of pain out there at the moment, Jacob Wiedering.
So he's rolled over onto all fours, which means they're going to, rather than using the stretcher, they're going to try and assist him off the ground. And as you said, Cal, probably got a massive cut on the back of his head as well. So the blood rule's in effect as well as the protection for the player.
There's a lot of blood on that towel. We never see the stretcher anymore come out.
And so, I mean, the theory is, look, you call for the stretcher, it's 20 minutes out of the game or whatever. But surely in moments like this, when to do everything we can for head trauma, is it better off?
It's not going to make any difference, I wouldn't have thought.
But he's on the other side of the ground. He's got to walk. I mean, he's dazed.
Come on, Kel. Every week.
We're trying to keep the game quick, but also we're looking out for the health and safety of the player.
I mean, the other subsequent conversation that's going to come from this is, for all the measures and everything we're changing about the game to try and reduce the amount of head trauma, when do we have the conversation around the hanger?
Oh, we can't, Corbs. We can't.
I'm the same too.
What do you mean the hanger?
It isn't.
As in?
It is an accident.
But whether...
As in, don't take the hanger out of the game.
I'm not saying that's the way to go. I'm just saying you can imagine that conversation will be had at some point. To think if you're flying through the air and you've got your knee up at that height, where other people have their heads.
But you've got to be able to jump at the footy.
Yep.
It's one of the absolute cornerstones of our game.
And it'll completely change the look of it. But
well, we've changed. I hope to God we don't, because there's already a lot of changes. I mean, throwing the ball up, ruckman can't ruck anymore.
He's walking by himself, which is good news, Jacob Wiedering, as he makes his way down the tunnel. All right, Cooper Trembath to finish the motion and send the first tremors through the Carlton camp. Trembath goals. And North kick the first of the final quarter. A couple for Cooper Trembath, and the Blues lead cut to 16. Tim Hodges on the boundary.
So that was a sizable gash on the back of Jacob Wiedering's head. I wouldn't be surprised if that needs stitches in addition to probably going through a HIA assessment down in the rooms, but he went straight through the interchange gate straight down to the room. So it's going to be some time before we see him back, if we do indeed see him back for the rest of this game.
So am I right in saying the HIA is 15 minutes and the stretch is 20 minutes?
No, you can be, you undergo a head.
HIAA, and you can be cleared.
You can be cleared,
yes.
But if you are then moved into concussion protocols and you're for further assessment,
that's 15
that's
minutes.
15 minutes a minimum.
Yeah, right. All right, back in the centre, it's Carlton by 16. And they're bursting out of the centre is Walsh. He's delivering. And also, it's McKay that's got it.
No, I think they're going to give it to someone else here.
Yeah, McGovern.
Is it McGovern? Yeah. Well, I don't know why, though.
Unless he was held off the ball. As the ball was coming in really quick. I'm just wondering whether one of the backline players in North Melbourne, who have been undisciplined today anyway, has grabbed hold of him.
So in the blink of an eye, bursting out of the centre was Walsh. His target was Mackay. Pitnet, beautiful tap work straight down to Walsh. But it's McGovern who's got it directly in front. And Mitch McGovern celebrates as soon as he connects with the Sharon. And the old-fashioned breathing space here for the Blues. Back out by 22 points. It's a goal apiece to start this final term. 12-7-79, North 8-9-57.
We were discussing in the pre-match around how you make sure you don't cough up leads and you take every moment. Every moment matters. So that right there is a terrific little snapshot of Carlton handling it well. Okay, they give up a goal. Unfortunate, North Melbourne kick one. Go back to the middle, reset, have a really good centre structure. Beautiful hit by Pitnet, quality entry. Then McGovern gets a free kick. Go back and execute under pressure. Don't wait to the 28-minute mark to go, we've got to win this. Every single moment matters, and they handled that one beautifully in response to a North Melbourne goal. Well played by the Blues.
That's now 11 of the 20 in the game, either from 50-metre penalties or free kicks, as Pitternet hooks it down behind to Hewitt. Hand pass away towards Cripps. He gives it back to Hewitt for the Blues. Kick smothered in the same motion. Coleman Jones comes up with it. Handball away to Sheasel. Gives it to Bench for the Roos. From high half forward, kicks for Larkey. 3 Blues across cover. And Dirksen, the telling touch, knocks it out of play.
It should have been given back, that hand pass. Hand pass over.
Sheasel running.
Yeah. Drew the Carlton defender away from the ball. That ball goes back to Sheasel and he knocks it over.
He probably runs to 40, doesn't he?
Yep, 40 metres shot on goal. No worries.
Jacob Wiedering's got a knee in the back of his head in the marking contest. He's downstairs doing a concussion test as Pitternet throws a boot at it, trickles away but straight to Blamires. Big time smothers Smith. Ball comes out, Blues back with it. Cripps, handball away to Ainsworth, back to Smith on the back flank, kick smothered. Still alive inside the forward 50 for the Roos. Davies Uniacke taken out of bounds by Cowan.
Oh, hang on, what's this called?
I think the umpire said he was a dangerous tackle.
Wow.
He just tackled him around the waist.
I reckon Cowan's actually held him up okay.
He's grabbed him around the waist. There's no sling there at all.
I think he ended up on the AstroTurf.
AstroTurf, yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't...
Yeah, I'm not sure he was ripped into the ground.
His head doesn't hit the ground, does it?
His head doesn't hit the ground, no.
So a free kick for Davies Uniacke. And this is what Adam Ramanauskas calls the dead pocket from out there. So about 35 out, right half forward, kicks towards the goal square, ball stays alive. Ollie Hollands has it wrestled from him by O'Sullivan. The young man with strength got it out for the Roos. Back into dispute though. Ollie Hollands comes up with it, back to Elijah. Elijah tumbles a kick out of defence, but it's last disposal out of play. Free kick for the Roos, left half forward.
Alistair Clarkson was talking to Colby McKercher at three-quarter time. Wants more from his kicking ability. Can he find one here?
He's got it on his left. He skies it to the top of the goal square. The hot spot, who's there? Cripps, Florent, quick handball. Pitnet opens the door for Dersma. He picked his pocket and snapped it from a metre out, Dersma. He's taking hangers. And now he's kicking goals in the final term. He's booted 3, Zane, and they're back to 16 points. 9-9-63, Carlton 12-7-79. And sit tight, Blues fans. This is going to be a very nerve-wracking 20 minutes left in this contest. It's Mick Malthouse and Cameron Ling on Good Friday Footy on ABC Sport.
Well, Lingy, I reckon the next couple of plays will determine how Carlton process what's going on, whether they get a bit jumpy, nervy, try to defend when they could go forward. We'll just see it. It'll be through the body language, there's no question.
16 points, 2 goals to 1 in the quarter, North's way. Hewitt, hand pass to Walsh, he left it behind. O'Sullivan gives it off to Coleman Jones, tackled by Walsh, ball comes out. Walsh's tackle lingered. Free kick, Coleman Jones, middle of the ground. Got it for North, handball away to Finn O'Sullivan. Running through the middle of Docklands, a long kick inside 50 for the Kangas. Hands on it, Young, spills down to Larkey. Hand pass out to Zerha. Zerha runs back onto his right peg and then tries to get a handball. Missed Davies Uniac. Almost intercepted by Ainsworth. Daniel goes and wins it. Half forward for the Roos. Handball to Banch. Banch to Blamires. Fumbles once, twice. Now tackled. Ball comes out. Blues back with it. Carroll. Handball away towards Ainsworth. Kicks down the wing.
Kicks down looking for, but couldn't quite hit up Kemp in a one-on-one contest. Comes back inboard. Ainsworth with the tackle.
Strong tackle.
Will be held up. And the tackle was on Daniel when he made sure of it. He stuck the tackle. And it'll be a ball up, City side, Pitnet, Smith, Hewitt by hand, back to Jagger Smith, loops it over the top. Here's a chance for Carroll on the left. Brilliant smother by Blamires. It affected the kick, but the Blues have still got it. Ainsworth over his head, sliding in was Walsh. Picks up, gets up, kicks, smothered. Daniel, he's set upon for the second time in 20 seconds he's been tackled. Cord just kicks it out of there. And it'll stay in play. Would have been a Lasso free kick, but getting there first is Ollie Hollins. His kick was smothered by Davies Uniac. Power. Watch him go. 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Oh no, the 3rd bounce has come undone. Desperate by Zerha. Ollie Hollins thought he had it. He's still in there fighting and scrapping is Ollie Hollins. Big ball to be won here. Inside 50.
There's a free kick.
Free kick. There's been a free kicks all day. Free kick City.
High contact.
Today. And it is going the way of the Roos.
Should have been against North Melbourne early when the North Melbourne player, can't see who it was, dived on the ball, took the legs of the Carlton player.
Yeah,
that's a free kick.
On Hollins. He came flying in, but it's Banch, the smallest player out there, that wins it. So he's got it. He'll need to kick it from 50.
Yeah,
they trail by 16 points. This is Zach Banch in his 5th AFL game.
I don't think he's a real long kick from what I've seen so far today.
Steps over 50. Tidy Shangle across the face. Look at when you look around this magnificent stadium with the roof on, not one fan is moving. They are glued to this contest. It's Carlton by 15 with 15 minutes to play.
Ollie Hollins marks the kick out, goes long to the wing. Mackay's in the pack, as is Hayward. They all leap forward. Spills down to Pitternet, the Carlton ruckman. He gives it to Mackay, goes back by hand to Newman. The lefty trying to thread the needle to Jagger. Can't complete the mark. Gets a free. Taken without it. And a handball away to Harry Mackay, who's riding shotgun, collects, goes deep, kicks to full forward, one-on-one, Ainsworth and Daniel. Hand on at Ainsworth and then tackles Daniel. Did he get him high? Said no. Tim Hodges on the boundary.
Confirmation from the Blues, Jacob Wiedering's day is done. It's concussion. He is also out of next week's gather-round opener against the Crows. So nervous times here for the Blues.
The 49-game streak will end as Darling grabs it out of the ruck, tackled immediately. It was the only nominated ruckman, so a ball up top of the goal square for the Blues. What a game. Carlton by 15, trying to hang on again in this last quarter, which is now 12 minutes old, and they'll have to do it without Jacob Wiedering. Grabbing it out of the ruck, Cripps. Hand pass to full forward, Ainsworth. Tackled. Kent. Sockers a goal. Some more breathing room for the Blues. And now Lados follow. As Kent just toe pokes it through from the top of the goal square. And Carlton's lead is now 21. Goal for goal in the last, a dozen minutes old. Carlton 13-7-85. North at 9-10-64. Mick Malthouse, Cameron Ling, Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, these little flashpoints, Lingy, there'd be no question that North Melbourne would be riling Carlton, reminding them about the last few weeks, and Carlton in turn would be trying to protect their teammate that has been getting a little bit.
Yeah, correct. And Carlton are responding
well to yes, they've kicked them. Yep. What have they kicked? Twice, 2 goals. Yep, 2 goals to 1, so they've kept the distance.
2-2. 2 each.
2 each.
It's final turn.
Oh, sorry, it is, yep.
Back in the centre. Straight down to Davies Uniacke. Trembath again doing well in the right. Brings it back to O'Sullivan. Standing start. Kicks inside 50. Goes over the head of a couple of players. Charging out was Larky. Young's now got him. There's no weedering out there. Loose ball. Zerha handballs backwards. Lamyers with the kick inside 50. Trembath! Backing back. Arms extended. Takes it at the highest point. That is a brilliant mark.
Yeah, he's been dangerous in the air.
He plays tall. He's listed at 193 centimetres.
Yeah.
He I don't know, he looks taller, first of all, but he actually plays taller. Even when he's gone into the ruck a little bit, he's leaped at it.
Yeah, I don't think they've put a real tall on him, Lingy. I think they've underestimated.
Directly in front for the 20-year-old from Blackburn. He's already kicked 2 to get it back to 15 points. He's got it. Warm applause from the majority of the fans in the stadium. A lot of blue and white here this afternoon. And it's Carlton now by 15. 13-7-85, North Melbourne 10-10-70. Still plenty of time to play. We've gone 15 minutes in this final term.
I was about to say, it might be like our executive producer and our esteemed Saturday footy broadcaster, Ben Cameron, where maybe his hair comes into the height measuring.
Yeah, true.
Maybe he's trying to game the system, get a couple of extra centimetres.
But he wears gloves. Ben doesn't have to have any.
Benny's listed at, 167 and is really 168.
Tells me he plays taller as well.
Yeah.
15-point game. Can they get that next goal? That's the one that they haven't been able to get so far. Carlton have had the 2 answers earlier in the quarter after leading by 22 at three-quarter time. Walsh chaotically comes in off the square, gives it away towards Hewitt. He kicks inside 50. Kind bounce for Jagger Smith. Tackle, taken down. Handball to a dangerous spot. Pinks there for the Roos. Handball away towards McDonald. Short kick there, Stevens, who's got it in the back pocket. He goes corridor. Wardlaw takes the catch in the gully, outstretched. Centre half back for North. Wiedering out of the game with concussion. Carlton by 15. 16 gone final term. Kick comes wide to Stevens.
Get it one-on-one. Darling.
Stevens kicks inside to forward 50. There is Darling trying to hold out. Dirksen hits the deck. Hewitt threw it out towards Young to Newman. Handball missed the target. Here's Ollie Hollins. Runs out of room. Tackled out of bounds. Oh, it's a sling tackle. He was dumped into the ground and a free kick for the Blues. And that is fortuitous as Curtis tackles Hollins into the AstroTurf and a free kick for the Blues in the back pocket. And that is a bailout.
There is nothing dangerous about that tackle.
Ollie Holland sends it up towards Mackay. Great spoil from Comben over the top and over the boundary line. Oh, listen to the tension in the air.
You've got to expect some sort of rotation in the tackle when the person being tackled tries to spin out of the tackle. It's a natural motion. As long as there's no dump at the end, like there wasn't then.
Carlton by 15. We're in the tense final term here, and it's the Roos through Curtis. Davies Uniacke. Stevens had to go. The non-preferred. It was a brilliant smother. And now McGovern, as it comes back to Stevens, tackles him. And it'll be a ball up half forward here for the Kangaroos. Every time the Kangaroos have kicked a goal in this final term, the Blues have hit back. Darling takes it out of the ruck, throws it on the boot. It's spinning and twirling towards the boundary line in the left forward pocket. Zerhard tries to keep it in play. And then Powell tackles Florent over the boundary line.
I only count 5 Carlton forwards, so there's another spare either at the stoppage or in behind the play, and I just can't pick him. Oh, it looks like he's behind the play.
25 metres around from the Roos goal. They're pressing. It's 12's back into play. Darling down to Sheasel. Quick snap offline. Missed everything out of bounds on the full. It'll be a free kick, and getting there first is Ollie Hollins.
I reckon he might have been the spare.
Blues by 15 points. The last time the Roos led, it was the 13-minute mark of the second term.
Hollins long to a contest. Mackay in the pack. Another whistle on the play. Out of zone umpire. Free kick North. Again, everyone looks around and thinks, okay, including the player who's receiving the free in Comben. Had a lot of intervention that's led to goals, and now we're having it around the ground in this last term. The kick towards Larkey and Darling, punched away by Young. Blues come up with it. Evans under pressure, hand pass back into dispute. Picked up by Curtis. He's trying to hand it out to Wardlaw. Tackled, dispossessed. Cripps gets boot to ball and Byrne in the right spot. Marks at half back. The youngest man on the ground, Taylor Byrne. Carlton by 15. Tick, tick, tick. 18 and a half minutes gone, final quarter. Retreats with the kick into the back pocket, and here's Newman. Looks corridor to Ollie Hollins. Wiedering out of the game with concussion in this final quarter after Zane Dersman trying to take a hanger, put a knee in the back of Wiedering's head. Hollins in front of the benches, punched away by Darling, out of play. So boundary throwing for the Roos between wing and half forward. Carlton by 15, 19 gone in the last.
So North Melbourne have got to know now, because Wiedering's not there, Carlton will want to roll one back to protect their defenders. So you've probably got numbers around the ball. So maybe when the opportunity presents, use each other. Run the ball together from the stoppage. Don't just dump kick.
Cripps in the ruck. Knocks it down. Players piling in. Quick little handball. Cripps is involved. Boyd out wide. And taking the mark is Boyd.
Sorry, Cal. It just looks like to me that Carlton want to hang on.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says I want to attack.
It's Carroll, in fact, and it's a beautiful left kick, and it finds Cripps. He's got it at half forward. He's going to put plenty of air in that. He's asking them to run and jump, and the mark being paid a juggling mark to Luke Parker. So he's got it in the defensive goal square. Short, risky. McDonald was there, takes the mark. 9 minutes to play. The Roos trail by 15 points. They've got possession of the footy. The squaring kick to Comben. He brings it wide to the interchange gates where Stevens stands his ground. Didn't take the mark. It was well played, good hustle by Carroll, but he does well. Stevens gets it over the top. Here's a chance. Flicks the way of Sheasel. Had to go back and win the footy. McGovern and Walsh in a two-man tackle. Make sure Sheasel's going nowhere. And it'll be balled up only a metre in from the boundary line, right where the benches are.
Little things just breaking down there. Stevens had to take that mark and then North were out. Instead, drop it. They're stuck with a stoppage.
Carlton by 15. Cripps went without it. Sheasel clean. Got it to O'Sullivan. Tapped it down to Simpkin. Quick handball to Power. Back to O'Sullivan. Kicks to full forward for North. Zerha got separation and marks 15 out straight in front.
Good strong play and good ball movement by North. Get the ball into an open zone. But the way they've been trying to do it is chip through lines. We're not good enough to do that, but this quick ball movement is.
To make it a single-digit game, Zerha goals. Carlton's lead trimmed to 9. And we are far from finished under the roof at Docklands. North Melbourne move to 11-10-76. Carlton 13-7-85. 21 and a half gone in the final term. The Kangas get back-to-back goals for the first time in the quarter. Cameron Ling, Mick Malthouse. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
And one of those players, Mick, that you spoke about who took the ball forward there for North Melbourne was Finn O'Sullivan. So he's been more round the balls, particularly in this last quarter. So he's had 5 disposals in this quarter, but 150 metres gained from his disposal. So he's the one. I reckon Alistair Clarkson recognised, hey, we're getting a heap of touches and we're going nowhere with it. I'm going to play players through the middle of the ground who are going to take it forward and give us attacking options.
Absolutely.
7 minutes to play. It's the Blues by 9 points, but the Roos have kicked 3 of the last 4. Carlton wins it out of the centre, but a good relieving mark at half-back taken by the experienced Parker. McDonald runs round behind him, accepts the handball, throws it on the left, asking a lot of Darling. Up over the top was Sheasel, knocks it to the ground, and now it's a 50-50 ball. Sheasel asking the question as he was holding the Sharon to the chest of Dirksen on the bottom of that pack, by Dirksen breathing a big sigh of relief. Pitnet handballs only as far as Simpkin, throws it on the boot. It'll go inside 52 on 2. Larkey's there. It spills the way of the youngster in Blamires. Blamires! Roos fans are up.
They're going to check it.
Goal umpire hasn't called it yet. Was it touched on the line? There's going to be a conference. All Roos fans are up on their feet. They're nervous.
Oh, he's got a finger on that. I reckon he's touched this. Great effort.
Cowan. He has. He's touched it right as the yellow Sharon crosses the line. And Blamires is going to be denied a goal. Well, they say it's a game of inches. And with 7 minutes left on the clock and Carlton holding on by 9 points as it stands, it could be 3 points. It's a behind. So it's going to be an 8-point ball game.
Newman with the kick-out duties, wanted to go city side, pulls it back to the opposite back flank, and here's Carroll. Right half back for the Blues, up by 8, 24 gone in the last. Kicks from Mackay, no mark, spills down to Evans of the Blues, handball out of play.
Yes, he handballed it. Yep.
Disposal out of bounds, yes. And Comber didn't collect it in time.
They could quickly check it from the arc, we know that. Might have been smothered off the handball, but
it's in McKercher's best interest to get it moving. Goes short to Stevens. North have the footy, and they're trying to reel in an 8-point deficit. Momentum all with the Kangas. Gives it to Stevens. Long kick forward. Dersma and Trembart collide in the air. Carroll spills it on the way down. Darling gets rid of his opponent. Handball out for Zerha. Close to the boundary line. Out it goes.
Well, this is I reckon Carlton have gone into a panic mode now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they went from a saving mode. Now it's a little bit panicky.
So if you're Michael Voss, what can you do?
Well, this is where you keep got to preach into the panic grips of the world. They've got to take control. He's in the forward line. He should be on the ball, controlling the play.
Here it comes, back in play inside 50. Powell's got it, centering kick. Trembart, not paid the mark. Lamyers handballs it out to Larkey. They're going backwards now. Daniel kicks around the corner. Here's flying Curtis. Paul Curtis has been paid the mark. He's got it in the right forward pocket. He's got the flashy orange boots on. He loves being the centre of attention, Paul Curtis. And here's a chance to get it back to 2 points. With 6 minutes to play, Paul Curtis isn't wasting any time. Blues fans biting their nails. Curtis on the left. He's pushed that right across the face, just squeezed it in for a minor score, and that's a massive let-up. A let-off as the Blues bring it straight back into play.
And then slow to defend the kick out too.
Goodness, margin 7 points, Blues holding on.
So 7 points. Carlton trying to navigate their woes in the final term, in the final halves of games, or second half of games that we've seen over the last 3 years. They did lead by 22 earlier in the quarter. They've had to do it without Wiedering, who's out of the game with concussion. Long kick for Newman down the wing. Hands on it for Mackay. No mark. Spills to the pack behind him. Says, I'll have it. So no Wiedering. 26 gone final term. Carlton by 7, but the Kangas have kicked the last 2. All the momentum with North. Can Carlton change their fate? Free kick for a hold. It's going to Davies. Uniac. Walsh tackled him without it.
I might be very close to this. I did say draw.
45,919 in under the closed roof for this one, and no one is moving.
Nothing to keep in mind that from a North Melbourne point of view, they've won only one of these Good Friday games, their biggest home and away game, and the Blues are there to be had today. Sheezel to Daniel. He dishes it off, and what a kick. Parker puts it on the chest of Curtis, and he let a moment go with his previous set shot. Can he make up for it here, Paul Curtis?
Well, if anyone had the ball outside of Larkey, I'd have it with him.
Yeah, that last kick's very uncharacteristic.
Laid back, laid right back. See whether he's learned from it. He's just got to get over the ball. It's such a beautiful kick.
Paul Curtis from right on the 50. The drop punt is there. The noise is getting louder inside Carlton's head, and the Kangaroos fans are willing them on. They've kicked 3 on the bounce, and the Blues lead by the barest of margins. Carlton by a point. 27 gone final term. The Baggers 13-7-85. North Melbourne 12-12-84. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. It's a grandstand finish.
And Carlton have absolutely, as Mick's described, just gone back into, I am just going to retreat and park myself in the defensive 50 and then panic. Panic kick, and North Melbourne have got all the momentum, all the territory, Now you turn back to the centre bounce. So your 3 A-grade mids are in there. Walsh, Chera, Cripps. Got to get the job done.
Blues are shaking in their boots. They're trying to hold on for dear life. Trembath wins it down. Luke Davies, Uniac, powers. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, draws the defenders. Going to give it back after he gave it to Sheasel to win the game on his own boot. He's offline. It stays in play. Blues under the pump. Kicked around the corner. Tracking down after it is Hollins. He goes to ground. Here's a chance for the Blues. Simpkin. And then Sheasel with the sidestep. He goes behind! Harry Sheasel puts the Roos in front by 5 points. With a tick over 3 minutes to go. And this stadium has just exploded. Oh, sport can be brutal. It can be cruel. And this is a nerve-wracking final few moments here for the Blues. Roos in front for the first time since the 13-minute mark of the second term. 13-12-90, Carlton 13-7-85.
You know, Paddy Cripps had that ball, and I hate blaming him for it, but he did cough that ball up. That's what started it.
Lead change number 7, the first of the second half. Cripps in the middle, tackled, lost it. Wardlaw steals it, handball to his own advantage. Wardlaw can't pick it up a second time. McKirch has got it. He's tackled, taken to ground. And the Blues have conceded 4 goals in 14 minutes after being 21 points up to now find themselves down by 5. And they come back and win it again, Carlton. Pitternet hand pass in front of Florence. Soccer's inside 50. Ainsworth gives it away to Smith. Back to Ainsworth. Hooks the kick to full forward for Carlton. Comben gets back, spills the mark at fullback. Pack forms around him. Umpire says, I'll have it.
There's probably 2 or 3 more scores left in this game. 3 minutes to play, in all honesty.
And the Blues without Wiedering, out with concussion. 3 minutes to go. Deep forward for Carlton. Both ruckmen hit the deck. Ball spills out. Mackay can't get boot to ball. Trickles out of bounds. Umpire says, I'll have it. Forward pocket here for the Blues. We know their history. 10 times in the last 2 and a bit years they've given up a half-time advantage. Well, now we're 22 up at three-quarter time. They now trail by 5, Carlton. The Kangas on top.
Intense pressure, error-riddled contest. Who soaks it up best here? Pitnet just dabs it. Jumping on it was Parker. We're in the left forward pocket here for the Blues. Frankie Evans gets it. Was he taken high? He was!
Oh, the out-of-area umpires paid that. He ducked his head.
He ducked his head, totally ducked his head. That's another terrible decision.
That should have been coughing up your prior opportunity.
Absolutely.
Holding the footy.
He just ducked straight into it. Watch him duck.
So
he's ducked
it looked
right
high. O'Sullivan comes over the shoulder of Evans, and Frankie Evans has got the free kick. He's within range. The man with the hot pink boots and the goggles on. 45-degree angle. 45 metres out. Sends it on its way and it's missed. It's missed. It's North by 5. Make that 4. North by 4 points. 45,919 here. 2 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock.
Is there a blood rule or something?
What are we waiting for here? Can anyone see? That is a blood rule.
Yes.
Luke McDonald, maybe?
Yep. There's a man of the umpires coming
this is this most ridiculous rule that we have not grown up. How can that possibly be now?
He's taking his time to get off as well.
Yeah.
So he's just got a nick under the right eye.
Just dab it. The old Vaseline or the...
Everyone's holding their breath. How would Michael Voss feel down there? The heart would be pumping through his chest.
Well, yes, Kel, let me tell you, it would be pumping out of his chest.
There's not a lot he can do from there.
No, he can't. No. You might be able to change your team around or get your centre line different, but outside of that, that's it.
Roos by 4 points. Parker with the kick-out duties. Goes long to half-back. Darling tries to punch it away. Straight to Ollie Holland to the Blues. Hand pass to Newman. Kicks Carlton back inside 50. McGovern back with the flight. Comben spoils. Elijah Holland's clean. Handball away to Evans. Great smother. threw his body out at the North Melbourne player in Wardlaw. Ball comes out Carlton's way. Chera, hand pass to Ollie Hollands, tackled. Ball up half forward for the Blues. 1 minute 50. Tick, 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 tick. North by 4 points. Pitternet reaching over the back, down in front of Davies-Uniacke, clears defensive 50. Newman, Shepherds, Dirksen, shoved as he kicks out on the full. North Melbourne ball. They get it at half back, and the Kangas lead by 4, hoping to win the Good Friday Super Clash for just the second time in 9 attempts.
They're not thinking North Melbourne either. None of them spread from that back line to get that easier kick away.
Stevens kicks to the wing. Darling applies a tackle. And make sure it's held in. All the experience of more than 300 games for Jack Darling. Omitted last week, kicked the 3 goals in the VFL, back in the team.
Loose behind the
Pitnet
ball,
hasn't
North.
got a ruck. Darling saying it's me. Umpire paused, allows him to come in. Pitnet wins it down to Cripps. Toe poke off the turf. Evans, good mop up. Gives it off to Smith. Hits up Harry Mackay. Problem is he's 2 kicks out from goal. He stabs it into space in the direction of Hayward. Hayward now recovers. And brilliant smother by Stevens. Dylan Stevens, former Swans teammates, smothers it over the boundary line. So it'll be a boundary throw in 25 metres around from the Blues goal. North by 4 points, 1 minute 10 on the clock. It was Carlton by 1 at quarter time, Carlton by 3 at half time, Carlton by 2 at 3/4 time. North flying home.
Pitternet palms it down to Cripps. What a tackle. Wardlaw got him. The Carlton captain, the ball comes out. Darling clears defence. Larkey competes at halfback. Young tries to knock it away. Larkey gets a telling touch. Cowan, though, there for the Navy Blues. Gives it to Smith. Trent Barth with a big-time tackle. Ball comes out to Dersma. Kicks into space. Time ticks away. 45 seconds to go. Carlton back with it. Boyd's kick dangerous. Curtis intercepts. North with it at centre half forward. Kicks it inside 50. Bouncing ball. Simpkin. Simpkin goes. His Friday goes from a good one to a great one. The Kangas by 10 points. And it's deja blues for Carlton. 36 gone, final turn. The Kangas have it in their keeping. 14-12-96. Carlton, 13-8-86. Mick Moldhouse, Cameron Ling. It's happened again.
It has happened again. And Lingy, you know, it's easy up here to say we saw it happen, but we saw a little bit of panic.
Yep. And
to save the game, and then it was total panic.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate because they had control of the game. 20-odd points. You have got control of the game.
Seconds tick down, back in the middle. It's North by 10 points, and they've broken out of the centre again through O'Sullivan. Go long and strong. Young, Larkey waiting at the back. Blues under the pump. Handball into space here. Florence swoops. He's caught by Darling. Brought down. Umpire says ball up.
It's exactly where North want it. It's in their forward 50
North
with
by
control.
10 points. They have kicked the last 5 goals. It's happened again for the Blues. This game is cruel. It's going to burn and churn for the Blues all week. They have wilted in the final quarter. Siren sounds. North wins. It's not Good Friday for the Kangaroos. It's a great Friday.
And sing it one and all. Join in the chorus. North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me.
Michael Voss on the final siren, eyes on him. He was furious. He whacked his little book on his leg. He can barely believe it. It's happened again. A nightmare for the second time in a week. North Melbourne by 10, 14-12-96. Carlton 13-8-86. I've never heard the crowd so loud. 45,919.
It's the team that plays to win for you and me.
The Kangas with their best start in a decade. They were 22 points down at 3/4 time. They still trailed by 21 points at the 15-minute mark in the last. And North Melbourne kicked the last 5 goals of the game to prove they're the all-new Kangas. And for Carlton, they're the same old Blues. A 10-point win for North Melbourne. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. Cameron Ling and Mick Malthouse with their initial thoughts.
Well done, North Melbourne, with the last quarter they had. We were saying at one point in that second half, Mick, the Kangas, I was really worried for them because if they couldn't beat this Carlton team, and they weren't playing at all well, North Melbourne either, there was some bad signs there. But they gritted their teeth, and it came out of the middle of the ground. Davies Uniacke had some really important clearances through the middle of the ground. Finn O'Sullivan, I thought, was superb in that last quarter. They were able to pump the ball forward, and I reckon they sensed it. Once Jacob Wiedering went off the ground, I reckon they thought, hey, if we can get it in there, Carlton are going to be a little bit disorganised, a little bit undermanned without Wiedering back there. We can kick these goals, and they know what Carlton have been through as well.
Well, that's the whole thing, though, Lingy.
They were able to feed off it, and Carlton then retreated, as in everybody ran backwards, thinking that's the best way to defend. It's not, trust me. And then the panic set in a massive way.
Well, it's 12 shots to 3. Inside 50s, I can't get my head on that one, which is 16 to 8, is it, or something?
18 to 8, isn't it?
18 to 8 last
quarter.
And yet, I reckon probably the last 7 or 8 minutes would have contributed about 10 of those.
Yep.
And Carlton probably 2 or 3, and had their chances, but couldn't get their hand on the ball to give it off to someone to actually have a shot on goal. I desperately feel for Michael and Paddy Cripps. I just think that, you can bust your guts. What can he do now? What are they going to say? His team has controlled the game for 3 quarters, half a game last week, and it can't go back. It can't keep falling on him.
The counterpoint will be Mick, though, and unfortunately, it always comes back to the coach. Is that not his role, that he needs to have this team, that when things go bad, that they fall back into a place and there's the cause and effect that they know, 1, they know what to do, and 2, they respond to it?
There's no question.
If they either don't know what they're doing or they don't respond to it, and he doesn't have that rapport with his team, then, you know how that story often ends.
Yeah, well, yes, and indeed, but there's a midway point somewhere, and I'm going to stick up for the coach. There's a midway point somewhere where
it's
all
a
the
shared
training
responsibility.
It has to be, Lingy. They're out there. He hasn't. If you saw the way he played his football, so there is a contrast to the way he played his football compared to what Carlton have done in the last halves or quarters. In this case, the last quarter. It is now. Yes, you would sit down there and say, if this is happening, this is what we've got to do. There's no question about that side of it as well, but we don't know exactly what's taking place. But all I saw was that into that last quarter, my mind went straight to Carlton thinking, you know what, I'm seeing a side that is trying to save a game, and yet they attacked in that third quarter. They kicked 5 goals 3 to 2 goals 3, and that for all intents and purposes, they had the right game system. Don't worry about Wiedering, that wasn't even an issue. They had everything going for them, and for some unknown reason, they coughed that type of game structure up. Now, Paddy Cripps, unfortunately for him, he gave away 2 hand passes in the middle that were both pounced on, and one was a goal. I can't remember what happened to the other one. But, I'm not blaming him for it, but too many other bits and pieces are the missing links.
Well, for me, Mick, sorry to jump in, it's the understanding of what you need to do in the moment. So I reckon we witnessed Carlton, as I said, retreat back to the defensive 50. And that's not the way you want to defend the ground in the moment. Now, people might think that's counterintuitive, saying, hang on, no, we should be defending. But you don't defend by all just running back to the goal line. No. I understand in soccer you can park the bus, for want of a better term. Footy, you can't. No. I tell my under-12 team, if you all run back and stand on the goal line, do you know what you'll spend the rest of your career doing? Watching the ball go over your head for a goal. Yeah. You need to come up and engage your opponent and defend them up the ground, because then they can't move the footy. Then you take away all their confidence and you can create turnovers and you move it. Yeah. But Carlton, they retreated again, and then it was just an avalanche.
And when you retreat with numbers, you can't then put pressure on blokes that you did during the first 3 quarters and force the errors. Yep. And some of those North Melbourne players were found out horribly that they couldn't handle that pressure, particularly the ground ball. There was blokes running over it, jumping over it, falling over it. But you know what? If you haven't got anyone near you, you can fall over it and you can pick yourself up again.
Pick it up,
still do
yeah.
it.
And
So-
you look superb with your ball use because you've got an extra 2 seconds to kick
That's
the
right.
ball.
That's right.
Because the pressure that was coming in
Falls
the
off.
first 3 quarters is 30 metres away, 40 metres away, having run back inside defensive 50. Now, North Melbourne capitalised on that, and they did it really well. Especially the Harry Sheasel goal, but some of the finishing work was brilliant by North Melbourne. But the way Carlton played it sort of invited that great run on play from the Kangaroos.
So, Mick, what's Michael Voss thinking now? It looks like he's taken them straight down into the room, straight into the meeting room. I mean, how many times do you keep thinking the message isn't getting through?
Yeah.
I mean, they must have gone through it this week. You know, what is he thinking? What's the right thing moving forward for the club, for me? What would be going through? Can you try and simplify it for us when you've been in that position and you've been under the pump all week and you're in a winning position again, and it happens all over again? It's like a car accident in slow motion. Everyone could see that it was unravelling. How on earth does he address the players now? What's he thinking?
Look, Kel, it's not a matter of that it's this week. We saw it last year, and we've seen it ample times this year.
So
they
they
fell over Richmond.
So his message isn't getting through.
Look, that's probably one. Yes, that's one little bit of it. I'm not going to deny that would be looking at Carlton going, why aren't they responding? As I said, I know the way Michael Voss played the game. He spent a lot of time in the middle coaching at Port Adelaide, and they weren't too bad in there.
So if you're the senior coach and your message isn't getting through.
You've also got to acknowledge, though, there's a number of players running around in that field who aren't much chop. So you don't have a lot of cattle to work with.
We'll talk Carlton and plenty of them. Don't worry about that. But the Kangaroos are winners. Their best start to a season in a decade. 3 wins through their first 4 fixtures. A 10-point victory over the Blues. We got both rooms covered. Down to Tim Hodges with the winners.
It is chock-a-block in here. I love what this club has done. I'm sort of so glad they won just to justify them having Good Friday. They're getting all the Royal Children's Hospital kids into the song, and they are going to have a lot of fun with this, guys. I'm calling it, apart from a finals winning rooms, I've never seen a happier rooms. They are up and about, absolutely jubilant scenes here in the North Melbourne rooms. The man who was so pivotal in that final term, he kicked the second last goal to have the Roos in front. Harry Sheasel will join us very soon, guys. So, what scenes down here in North Melbourne compared to what's down the road at Carlton's rooms.
Awesome. Thanks, Hodgie. I just saw the vision of that on the monitors up here, and the kids from the Royal Children's Hospital, as you outlined in the song, and all being part of it. What a job North Melbourne have done over a long period of time with this. And it's 9th edition. It's just the second time they've won it. They had to kick the last 5 goals of the game unanswered to reel in a 21-point deficit halfway through the last to win by 10. So as good as the good is for North Melbourne, the bad is almost the equal on the other side of things when it comes to Carlton. We got both rooms covered. Ben Cameron is downstairs in the Blues room, so we'll hear from Carlton, I'm sure, as we work our way through and get a little scene setter from down there. Meanwhile, the Kangas 10-point winners over Carlton. Full-time, they're 3-1 for the first time in a decade. It's been a long time since they've had this kind of a start to a season.
Yeah, and wins like that, and again, I'm repeating, they weren't great for 3 quarters, North Melbourne. They, to somehow just dig so deep and find a way to win that one, combined with their positive start to the season, combined with what they're trying to grow, it's a huge win for the direction that Alistair Clarkson wants to take this team. For their fans who've been suffering now for a while because they've had some really nasty years, the North Melbourne Kangaroos, a win like that is just really special. And Corbs, you highlighted the fact that their record on Good Friday, as they've almost owned the game, hasn't been good. But to get that win, and a win like they did in front of a really big, healthy crowd, that'll hopefully just keep their season rolling on such a positive note and set themselves up nicely.
And if ultimately, say they missed a couple of those shots and they fell a few points short, they would have walked away today thinking that was a game that was there to be won, and ultimately we didn't do it. And they did. And so instead of sitting here saying, they didn't quite get it done, we're saying good on them that they finished over the top, kicked the last 5 of the game. Off the SMS, your comments have been based on Carlton and how they blew it and nothing on how the Roos won it. We've got plenty of time to celebrate with the winners. Don't worry about that. From Brendan in Hobart, it's what Graham Wright thinks that counts and what happens to Voss. It's a fascinating conversation. You mentioned it, Lingy, about, there's a bunch of players out there that aren't necessarily towards the top end of their position or whatever it turns out to be in the competition. But I mean, the nature of it for Michael Voss is that they've let a lot of high-end talent go, including obviously Charlie Curnow in the last off-season. And he's off contract at season's end. So even though it feels like the whole club's taken a step backwards to maybe go forward in the long run, Michael Voss is coaching seemingly for wins and losses right now, because how else does he win a contract for next year? His team's 1-3. And the worst part about it is that the same problems are recurring. The recurring problems for Carlton in the way that they're losing.
Look, they don't make the 8.
10.
Or 10. They don't make the 10. The reality is, and I'm a coach's person, as you know, I don't. And if he's uncontracted, with all due respects to Michael, I don't think he's got any hope of holding his job if they don't make the 10. Because 10, there's going to be 3 or 4 sides that make the 10 that are not good sides. This is a 6-team competition, probably 7-team at best. So, we're dealing with a lot of clubs that are sort of patchy, good at some stage, have a handful of really good players, as Carlton have got, then they fall away. So the total reality is, and this is coming from, I do not like to see talk about coaches going, but if no 10, no job. I mean, and they'll start again. And who knows who gets that job? And if they don't make the 10, they're going to have a pick that's going to be late. The Devils get the picks this year?
Following year.
They don't get their picks this year.
No.
Well, Carlton will get one of the first 8 picks.
But Carlton have also been impacted by the change of the father-son rule too. They wanted Cody Walker.
Exactly.
But they're going to have to give up more.
Well, you're paying to get him. That's another issue which we should talk on Saturdays.
And they've got Adelaide to open gather round on Thursday night with no Jacob Wiedering because he came off with concussion, and then it's the Pies the following week at the MCG. Wow.
If you were a wrestling promoter, you would draw today's game up like that. Like the team that's got the scarring in the second half, and then they establish a game-high lead at three-quarter time, so it looks like those problems are gone, and then all of a sudden, halfway through in the last quarter, the same thing happens again. You couldn't draw it up like that to think that that's exactly what happened again for Carlton.
And you just said halfway through the last quarter. It wasn't a takeover blitz in the first 5 minutes to get them back in the game. It was halfway through. I looked at the clock, and it was 7 minutes of actual time to go, and I'm thinking, you know what, I reckon they could probably just hang on if they could just do a few things that get the ball in their forward line and have a ping on goal. But their whole game set was, let's keep the ball, but scoring is probably not an issue.
15-minute mark of that last quarter, they were still 21 up. 15-minute mark of the last quarter.
Is that general? No, it wouldn't be normal.
That was the count-up clock.
The clock.
But basically around that time, I looked at the game clock. It was about 11 minutes to go. So there's basically the halfway stage.
A lot of time.
And the Roos came and got them. Kicked the last 5 goals of the game. The Kangas by 10 points. Good Friday footy on ABC Sports. Still to come. The Crows and the Dockers, our next stop. But let's go back into the winners' rooms with Tim Hodges.
Corbin, Harry Sheasel is a man in demand. Just done your television commitments. You've come straight to us. We appreciate it. What's the feeling right now? Is it a bit of relief, a bit of ecstasy? Sort of what's going through your mind?
No, I wouldn't say relief. I think last week was a bit of relief. This is just excitement. What a win. We've had few, as you know, so to come from behind like that, I think this is probably my best win I've been involved in the club.
That's the beauty of this stadium, right? When it's full, and it was 46 and a bit thousand tonight, when it's that loud, it's hitting the roof, coming back down on you, when it's as exciting as it was in the final term, it's phenomenal, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. The North fans, they've been loyal. There haven't been too many close games like that where we've come from behind, so we wanted to put on a performance for them. We've been pretty poor on this fixture the last few years, and to stay in it late and then run over the top of them, and how loud was it? How good is it?
even your own commitments, like you've done everything this week, which I really admire, and I love how the club embraces the Good Friday appeal. Just to get the win, to make sure it's not a 1-8 record, which it would have been, and it was looking like it was going to be at three-quarter time. That must mean so much for you and the club as well.
It does. We want to be in these bigger games and practice winning in front of big crowds and playing in big moments, and I think we did that late. A lot of players stepped up and owned their moments, and hopefully we can play in bigger crowds, because that means we're getting ready for finals footy, which we want to do down the track. So, yeah, we want to play in front of the biggest crowds possible and try and deliver on that stage.
It's bloody great to see you smiling so much. I'll send you upstairs, Cameron Ling and Mick Malthouse.
Oh, Harry, congratulations. A terrific game of footy there at the end. So thrilling. I want to take you back to three-quarter time, though. Yep. You're down. The deficit's there. Did you talk about, you didn't need to talk about the fact that Carlton have been run over the top of a number of times and they probably have a few demons inside their head? Was that addressed at three-quarter time?
No, we focus purely on us, but to be honest, I haven't had so much belief going out of the three-quarter time huddle that we could win a game of footy from behind. There were so many plays that you could just see it in what we were saying and how we were feeling. We just had so much belief in the process, we spoke about believing in that and wanting to take the moments and win it, and we came out of there saying we were going to win that game, and it's amazing what belief and confidence can do.
Harry, is it a tactical shift, a personnel shift? Because we were observing probably half-time or just after, you guys were getting a lot of possessions, but not necessarily going forward with it much. There was a bit of back and forth and patient ball use, but it wasn't great attacking play.
Yeah, we wanted to own the ball, but Carlton's defence, to their credit, was pretty good. They were holding numbers behind the ball, and we couldn't penetrate the game and get some forward momentum, which was a bit frustrating at times, but we knew that if we kept putting the pressure on them and matching them in the contest, it would eventually open up, and we back our talent in. We have so much talent, especially on the offensive side, that we know we can get teams as the game goes on, and late in that game we just had so much belief and probably took a bit more risk, which sometimes works for you, sometimes doesn't, and today it worked.
Harry, congratulations. It was a fantastic victory. I'm just going to go back to that three-quarter time again, though, because during the third quarter, half-time there was not much in it, 4 points. Third quarter, Carlton kicked 5 goals to you too. So what gave it surely must have been something about Carlton that gave you the confidence to go forward, or what was spoken about to change up a side that kicked, as I say, kicked 5 to you guys, only 2 in the third quarter, because if you've got that much confidence, it's got to be something that's drawing that confidence.
Yeah, so in the third quarter we probably, especially with our ball movement, we just didn't take enough risk with the ball, and we gave them the game that they wanted. They matched us and probably levelled up in the contest, which you knew they were going to come out of halftime really, really firing after last week. So yeah, it was pretty disappointing that third quarter, but then once we got back involved in the contest, matched them in there, like I said just before, we just took a little bit more risk, and sometimes that pays off. And I think when we do take a bit more risk, our group, because of the talent we've got, it usually holds us in good stead.
Cooper Trimboth, what a fantastic, not only forward line play, but when he went in and did some ruck work.
How good was his ruck work in the end?
So how did you feel like when you're in the centre and watching him against a much bigger opponent?
Yeah.
Do you think the rules have negated that big body player and given him a chance to play a different sort of role?
I don't think so, because we've got big Tristan Sherry, who the first few rounds was still probably the most dominant ruckman in the comp, so it hasn't affected him, but it does help, I think, centre bounce players that can leap and jump like Cooper, and he can leap and jump forward of the ball, take some big clunks, but then his ruck work and then follow up, and then I think he's kicked one of his goals late there from the ruck, so his ability to push forward and take his ruckman deep and convert for us was huge. Yeah,
well done, mate, and all the best next week. It's a big. What do you got next week? You've got the Lions. You've got the Lions over there at Barossa. Well, yeah.
So big test, but we'll see how we go, and we'll go in with some belief. Thanks, Mick.
Harry, just before you go, can you tell us a little bit about Parker and Paisley, who you spent a fair bit of time with?
Yeah. So Parker and Paisley, this isn't the first week we've met them. They've been at the club the last few years, I reckon every single week, coming down and watching us train. So we know them very well, and Parker and Paisley both have pretty serious allergies, so they've been in and out of the Royal Children's the last few years. So they were ambassadors today, and I ran out holding Paisley's hand, which was special, and she was on the couch with me earlier in the week. So it's been a great week for them, and the club do an amazing job of putting on such a big week.
It's awesome. It's, as Tim Hodges said, congratulations on all the work that you do. both personally and as a footy club, Harry, you're a great role model. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate
Good,
it.
mate. Well done.
Harry Sheasel, that's 21 years of age he is.
Yeah.
He's already a dual best and fairest winner. It's amazing, and hopefully he's there when this team goes up and to the right. And this
Just seems to want to be there, doesn't he? Though.
Yeah.
Remember some ridiculous comments that were made that all he did was get easy, cheap possessions. It's just, I find that absurd, those sorts of comments. There's a young guy, first of all, who was consistently finding 30-plus touches. He kicks goals. He gets the ball inside forward 50. He's a damaging player, and he's still so young that he'll only get better at that element. You naturally, when you're 18, 19, you just go out there and just try and get a few possessions because you want to keep the game. Team. Yeah, you just want to get a touch. Then you understand, oh no, okay, on top of that, I also need to impact the game.
How do I play finals?
And how do I play good football that stands up? That's exactly what Harry Sheasel's doing.
And off the ground, though, too.
Yeah.
He's...
Yep.
And
they're
he
the sort of
kicked the goal to
ambassador
put them
you
in front,
love.
didn't he? He kicked the goal to put them in front.
I reckon he did.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and that was
the match
difficult.
Really good goal.
Beautiful
really
sidestep.
Good goal. Yep.
Just off the SMS, couple coming through. So a knee to the back of the head that it cost the Blues the game. So Kevin from Shenton Park says, forget the dinosaurs. The conversation has to happen regarding the hangers. Otherwise, the AFL not providing a safe workplace. And on a similar theme, Harry from the Sunshine Coast says, before you take the hanger out of the game, put helmets in maybe. So some of the commentary coming through regarding the Jacob Wiedering knee to the back of the head as Zane Dersman tried to take a hanger. Wiedering concussed, basically spent most of the last quarter off the ground.
Can't take that out of the game. But, and I've never been really an advocate of the helmet, but one of those softer ones, the one that probably Daniels wears, that would probably negate the cut for one thing. Whether it spreads the hit as far as the concussion goes, I don't know.
So there is a helmet in the works at the moment that they're trialling at lower levels that they're hoping might be an answer, and there's so much study going on this front around whether the headgear works or not. Interestingly, in American football, for example, where they used to have soft shell helmets, they now have the hard helmets. There's a train of thought over there in their game that perhaps people are using their helmet as a weapon, and because of the lack of give in the hard shell helmet, it's actually creating more trauma for the brain that it rattles around basically in a confined space. So you've got a sport that's got sort of hard helmets, and they're thinking about, or not thinking about moving away from it, but there are theories thinking that maybe if you had a softer shell helmet, there would actually be less head trauma as a result.
And if we add one more thing on, worldwide, even soccer with headers.
Yep.
So I reckon that's going to be a thing of the past. So, and you can imagine that, those things, So the whole idea of protecting the head is absolutely fundamental to any sport. Absolutely.
The other one was, Nick Larkey in that first quarter got was that a knee to the head in a marking contest as well?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he didn't come off. So I reckon the AFL will look at that, and he didn't really have much of an impact after that hit, did he? And he didn't come off and do an HIA?
No, well, he was spoken to, and a HIA can take place on the
ground.
Field. Yeah. If the doctor says, I had enough time with them, it was a calm enough situation, he wasn't trying to run away from me the whole time, it can take place on the ground or off the ground at the bench. And if they're satisfied that he doesn't then need to take part in a SCAT 6 test, that's part of the assessment process. So, I reckon they'll ask the question because it looked like a nasty one. But then you trust the medical team. You have to. Of course. You have to.
The other thing is too, Lingy, you played forward as a junior, generally. I don't know how many times the backline play come over and either whacked you or knees you, whatever the case may be. A lot of that, the backline play now is gone because, you're 4 umpires and they see you touch the head, you're out. You're just as likely to get a concussion. Like if I looked at my concussions, they didn't come from being kneed in the back of the head, let me tell you. And so it's a rarity that it does happen. Yeah. So we don't want to take, and I don't know whether people are going for marks like they used to anymore. We're not kicking into a pack that often as we used to. We now try to find targets and kick the ball out in front of people. Go back 20 or 30 years, yes, big packs, schoolboys, back and forth. But there's no way you can take that out of the game.
The other thing is, I think we've spoken about before on Saturdays, Mick, that a lot of the legal challenges have been around the way that concussions were treated as opposed to actually sustaining the concussion. So they're two. I know it feels like it's semantics, but they are important differentials to make. That it's the ones that have often been challenged have not been so much, hey, I sustained a concussion.
That's right.
I wasn't anticipating that.
That's right.
Was it dealt with correctly?
That what you're talking about is the biggest thing I would have changed in my career, and we've learnt it along the way. And I had some of the best care, some of the best doctors. But I reckon as we've learnt now is not going back out on the field.
Yeah.
Not playing the next week if you're not right to go.
Being honest about all your symptoms.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know I was guilty of it. No, I'm fine. I'm good. And they took your word at that. But we're so much smarter now. So that's the adjustment that I think has been a huge positive step. We play, unfortunately, but fortunately, a collision game. A game where there are going to be physical contests and there are going to be accidents, like the one we saw today with Jacob Wiedering, when it is different if that player, Dersma it was, took his eyes off the ball and ran at Wiedering and made contact with him in any way and got it. That's different. Dersma's eyes on the footy, he's using his athleticism to leap in the air and try and mark the football, and his hands make contact with the ball, so it was a legitimate attempt. I think that sort of athleticism needs to remain in our game, and we accept those horrible accidents that might happen.
Incredible ending here. North Melbourne by 10 points. This is Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. 21 points was the deficit at the 15-minute mark of the final quarter, and then North Melbourne rattled off the last 5 goals of the game. And for Carlton, it's the 11th time since the start of 2024 that they led at halftime and lost. It's been a recurring nightmare for them in season 2026. They've had second-half fade-outs in all their games. They have won only one of 8 second-half quarters, and that was the third term here. It was almost like a wrestling promoter had drawn it up. A game-high lead for Carlton at three-quarter time, and they got swallowed up really in half a quarter as North finished over the top. We're on a late change watch in Adelaide, so the final team's coming through in a moment, but Darcy Fogarty hasn't warmed up, so there is some talk that he could be a late out for the Crows. More on that in just a moment. And Sam Walsh is about to join us, so we'll get some reaction from the Carlton rooms. North by 10 points. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport.
Just having a look at some vision that's floating through from social media. The security guards had an extra job to do here today under the closed roof after the siren, Mick, and that was to go around the boundary line and pick up a couple of Carlton scarves that had been thrown over the boundary fence with the seconds ticking down. So there's at least 4 scarves, and a security guard goes and picks up one, and he's sort of looking around to say, does anyone own this? And they're on
the train home.
They are. So it's going to be a tough week again for Carlton.
It will be a very, very tough week. Let me just run through a couple of little things as far as the coach goes. I remember a couple of players, this is when I was at Carlton, I remember a couple of players were interviewed and they said, we're just sick of waiting here for the media to interview either us about the coach or the coach about us. And it gets us down. And that was, that is not just me there, but there was others through time. It throws enormous pressure onto the coach, onto the players, onto the committee, and the supporters. Of course, some will say stick, others will say no, you can, jump, or we're getting out, or whatever the case is. It's a terrible time. Very tough time.
So they got a 6-day break again, so another short week after they've gone, 5-day break into this fixture?
Yeah, not good.
Sorry, 5 days into now, essentially a 6-day break, so 2 short weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He's known this as an issue. I mean, it's happened now 11 times since the start of 2024. I'm certain they've done as much as they can to try and combat it. Travis Boak calls the team in. They get a better third quarter effort at least. Where do you go from here? Like, if you're Michael Voss and you're walking back into the club, I'm sure they've explored numerous things.
Yeah, well, I don't think they need reminding about it. You'd be looking at, again, I'll just stress, you look at the play, you look at the if it's an individual thing, you've got your line coaches and you work with individuals. You've got to constantly, in this case, I believe, work with your leaders. Constantly work with your leaders. Because, Paddy Cripps was in the middle, and then at one stage I remember calling out, I said he's on the forward line. Now, he's not going to make an impact on that forward line if the ball's stuck in the middle or in their back line. You've got to put your premier people, your leaders, where the ball's going to be so we can actually start to direct and be forceful. I don't know.
And
I said to you, Lingy,
particularly with Wiedering out of the game, so you don't have anyone behind the ball.
Yeah, as I said about Lingy, it's not a popularity contest. You are there to lead, and if you are principally, you want to be respected. Now, if you're liked at the end of your career, good luck to you. If you're not liked, but why? Oh, he's too hard on me. Take it every day of the week.
The other one too is to add on the mixed thing. It cannot just be, let's say, Cripps, Walsh, and Wiedering.
No.
Because in a game where it's as frantic as it and the pressure's coming, the opposition's coming at you, you need probably another 10 players knowing exactly what needs to happen, communicating it together and getting it fixed. Then you cover for the fact that Wiedering goes down. So that back line was completely leaderless. If Wiedering's the only one, and I'm pretty sure it was, Wiedering's the only one who really could control and influence others, he's gone because of an unfortunate injury and accident. There's no one else there. That people often ask me, like, how, you guys with your leadership and everything like that. I said, well, not to undersell myself, but when I looked around and I had 15 other blokes who knew exactly what needed to be done, were hard and ruthless, but had great relationships with each other and could fix things up, I didn't have to carry the entire load. We had 15 guys who could fix a scenario just like that.
Kangaroos by 10 points. Good Friday footy on ABC Sport. Sam Walsh is standing by with Ben Cameron.
Thanks, I'm down here with Sam Walsh. It's happened again. How do you respond to that?
It's just, not good enough late. Gave ourselves every opportunity again. Obviously, we are putting ourselves in that position to win, so that's probably the only positive to take out of it. But big moments, weren't there late and they got better of us.
You guys came in and went into a team meeting. Was it Michael Voss speaking to the group? Was it players only? What happened in there?
No, just a bit of both. Players, coaches as well. We're in it together. I think we'll unpack it a little bit more as we go on, but just sort of spoke about we've just got a bit of work to do.
Do you have a theory as to why this keeps happening?
No. I don't have a theory, no.
Has any or have any been presented around the club?
Well, I wouldn't call it a theory. We just got to play our footy for longer. We've got to play 4 quarters. At the moment, we're not. Yeah.
Can you feel it out there on the ground? Because up in the box, Mick Malthouse said, I can see that Carlton have gone into panic mode. Can you feel that midway through the 4th quarter, you're up by 4 goals, it comes down to 10 points. Can you feel that out on the ground?
No, I wouldn't call it panic mode. We had a set shot from Frankie to win the game. Obviously, there's moments where we've got to be stronger in the contest, turn it back the other way, a bit more composed, but I think we still gave ourselves opportunities.
We noticed on the monitors that Travis Boak pulled the group in before you ran out for the second half. He's obviously involved in leadership at the club. What was behind that and what did he say?
Just a reset moment. We've gone to work, obviously, how we want to come out of the break and how we want to try and play 4 quarters. It starts with our urgency around the contest, and from there we gave ourselves some really good looks in that 3rd quarter. I thought we played the way we wanted to. But once again, it's sort of like we did it 3rd quarter. Last week, the 3rd quarter let us down. We didn't do it late 4th quarter this week, and it let us down. So it just shows you got to be on the money.
Last week, late in the game, we could see all of the Blues fans just sort of piling out of the ground. They're obviously very disappointed. I saw scarves flying today. What do you say to Blues fans?
No, I just say the frustration you guys feel is definitely felt by us, but we've just got to get to work. A lot of our stuff that we've been trying to strive after, I think, is being shown for bits of footy, but I'll keep on saying, if you don't do it for long enough, you'll lose games at this level.
Do you still believe that Michael Voss is the man to take this group forward?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's the man.
Why is that?
He's a great leader of the footy club. Voss's name keeps on getting mentioned, but it's a whole coaching group. We were all in behind him, and I think you can see the passion that we try and play with. I think our energy and connection for a lot of the part of games tonight, but as soon as we got a bit fatigued and they turned us around that last 10 minutes, we probably lacked a bit of composure and strength.
Do the on-field leaders need to take more responsibility for what's happening?
Who said they hasn't? They haven't been taken off.
Have they internally?
Who said they haven't?
No one said they haven't. I'm just wondering whether they have.
Yeah, we have.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. Best of luck. Appreciate your time. Thanks, Sam.
Sam Walsh, an abrupt end, Mick, with Ben Cameron in the Carlton rooms after a similar fade out from the Carlton Football Club.
Sam Walsh has got to. He's got to defend. You need to stay loyal and defend.
Absolutely.
In that situation.
You cannot on an interview like that then put blame on anyone else because you are part of the reason. As a on-baller who's just signed a new 7-year contract, you've obviously committed yourself to the club. When I look at who kicked the goals at the end, Simpkin kicked that last one. You've got Sheasel kicked another one. He come from the middle. They got too much of the football through the middle in that period. In that little period, it's got to come from somewhere, and it definitely it didn't come from their back. They had a couple of good winners there. Parker won a good one-on-one there at one stage, and they had a couple of, but basically the side that won that game was the one who won the stoppages and the middle work. And let me say, North Melbourne smashed them in that area at that time.
Let's just see if we can take a little bit of Michael Voss live, courtesy of Fox Sports. So he's speaking currently after Carlton's 10-point loss.
Our tackle rate was low, mainly because there's just so many uncontested marks from both teams. But then to dial up the pressure in the third quarter, and from that point on, I felt like that looked like probably from quarter time, to be fair, it looked like more of a game, our game. But we have to manage minutes and we have to manage moments, and we didn't, and they were good enough to. So they've got ascendancy around the ball, centre square bounce. They got some good drive from and some territory, and that had us pegged back a little bit. So hard one, really hard one to take because 6-7 minutes out from the finish, you're still feeling like you're in obviously a really really good position in the game.
Do you feel like these are starting to become mental for the players, these finishes?
I didn't suspect it was that way today. Understand the query probably in the last few weeks, but when you look at the group and you sort of get to know your group pretty well, you can sort of see how engaged they are and the detail in their roles, their intensity around contest, ability to have composure in the game when it was needed. And I thought for large parts of the game there's a lot of gains to acknowledge in that area, but we also can't walk past the fact that you're not finished in the game. So our ability to ice that game, was from a really strong position, and we weren't able to do it. So we just got to own that and go to work on it.
Michael Voss, a man who defines the term embattled coach at the moment, under pressure, in charge of the Blues. Kangas by 10 points. First leg of a doubleheader still to come. Adelaide and Fremantle, our next stop. The votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year. Cameron Ling.
I'll be as quick as I can, Corbs. I'm going to give one vote to Finn O'Sullivan for his last quarter. Had 9 inside 50s for the game, 6 score involvements, 205 metres gained in that last quarter. He got them going forward. He gave them the chance, which was fantastic.
Massive 200 in one quarter.
In one quarter. 2 votes. I'm going to give to Mark Pitnet. I thought, as far as Carlton goes, 39 hit-outs, kicked 2 goals, 4 clearances, really strong through the middle of the ground. 3 votes to the man we spoke to a little bit earlier, Harry Sheasel. Just found plenty of the footy, was one of the players who actually got the ball going forward, kicked a goal as well. I ignored a couple of the bigger possession winners for the Kangaroos, who I thought just racked them up early. So I'll give it to Harry.
Happy Easter, Lingy. We'll hear from you on Sunday from 12 noon. I'll see you tomorrow, Mick.
Certainly will, Corby.
Carlton deep dive and the reaction with yourself and Luke Ball on AFL Saturday from 12 noon. Thank you, Cal. Happy Easter. Thanks to Tim Hodges and to Ben Cameron downstairs, to Stuart Hollywood Baker and to Akash Fodder back in the studio. It happened again. The Blues copped up a lead in the second half. North Melbourne finishing over the top to win by 10.
Throws it, goals it.
Get your footy fix
Live and ad-free with ABC Listen.
AFL, NRL,